Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just truly probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Scotty Pablo in the Big O Show. Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, man. That's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Culture, Probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Alcigarin. Yeah.
Jay Crowder opens the playoffs with the three. Crowder, seventh straight year he's been in the postseason. That is a man playoff tested strong. Barreling through, draws a foul and converts.
Vintage Jimmy Butler, strong slashing drive, physical, knocking the defender out of the way.
Bam, quick first step and finish. Oh, he left Miles Turnover in the top. Butler comes up with a steal and slam. Jimmy Butler, who is seventh in the league this year in steals, comes up with a swipe and the score. Hero against Holiday, got through and made an artful bucket.
Oh, gorgeous move.
This is Shakar Sampson working against Olynyk. Offensive foul on Sampson.
Offensive foul.
Well, nobody did that better this year for Miami than Olynyk. 13th offensive foul he's drawn this year, counting this game. Butler hammers it down. Jimmy Butler leading scorer so far in game one for both teams. Butler quickly drawing a second defender. Oladipo giving Jimmy problems, forces it up, scores, and draws the foul. McConnell loses the ball to Dragic, and the Heat defense starting to grow some teeth. The lob for Iguodala, put it down. Hero put it in the sky. Iguodala sealed the deal. Olynyk, nice handoff. Iguodala with a strong finish. Dragic tees up a three. It's good. Oh, the steal by Butler. By himself. Jimmy Butler with his third steal of the game. Bam flipped it up, it dropped in. A miraculous reverse for Bam Adebayo. The lob and the slam. The Dragon for three. Yes, Goran Dragic. A 12-point fourth quarter and a 22-point game one. That's Butler, another three. It's good. Jimmy Butler. Back-to-back triples here in the fourth quarter.
This is the Big O Show.
Oh, yeah. We're ready to rock. We're ready to roll. And the Heat was rolling last night, 113 to 101. It was beautiful. They lead 1-0 in the series, best of 7 against the Pacers. Although, I mean, once you know Sabonis is out, okay, Jeremy Lamb is also out, and then they lose Oladipo late in that first quarter, you got to win that game. You got to win this series. They should be in control. That's exactly what happened yesterday. Indiana will be gritty. Indiana will be tough. They were smart yesterday early on. They were attacking Miami's weakness, which we've all talked about it. You know, guys like Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero and these kind of guys got to build up their bodies and get better defensively. Goran has never been anything special on defense, and so they were attacking some of the weaknesses on the perimeter. And to Miami's credit, they started to adjust and use other guys to cover, other guys to support, and they were able to stop the penetration and the shooting by the Pacers that was giving them absolute fits in that first quarter, and they kind of adjusted after that. I know that Oladipo got poked in the eye by I think it was what's it called? Iguodala, I think it was. I think it was Iggy that actually poked him in the eye yesterday, and I know he went to the hospital. He's day to day right now. Butler was outstanding yesterday. Those threes he hit late. I mean, you got to admit, all of us were probably a little surprised that he's hitting those threes, right? I personally was absolutely shocked that he was hitting those threes because he's not a good three-point shooter. Now, Butler is one of those guys that once in a while can hit the what's it called? Can hit a big shot for you, but what's it called? Oh, I see what you're saying. What is it, on or something? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I see. So Butler obviously is one of those guys that can hit a big shot for you in key moments, but it's not a guy that I want him shooting those kind of shots. It went his way yesterday, and he hit those 2 3-pointers late. And listen, we'll take it. It doesn't matter, right? We'll take it. It doesn't matter. 113-101. They're up 1-0 here in this best-of-7 series. Dragon played well, had 24 points. How about Kendrick Nunn did not play at all? I mean, he was a CNDP, right? Right? Coaches did not play, right? Or coach's decision. CD, right? Coach's decision did not play. CD, DMP. Okay, you kind of expect UD to be on that list, and he was. But the whole Kendrick, I got to say, I was a little surprised that Kendrick didn't play at all. And again, this might be something that lights a little fire. Like I said yesterday, maybe this ignites him a little bit more and gets him motivated to play a much more efficient game, because that's been his problem. He has not been efficient. And so yesterday you were able to win without him. You know what I mean? And look, again, there's no Sabonis and there's no Oladipo. You have no business losing to this Indiana Pacers team. You don't at all. You know what I mean? And they gave you plenty of problems, but then you ended up controlling the game and winning it. And Butler was fantastic. 4 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks. Shot 28 points, 2 of 2 from three-point range, which I don't expect a lot from. Dragon had 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, played 34 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how many minutes he plays from here on out. Do they keep him in the 30s as a starter? Because I told you yesterday I was a little concerned maybe they would keep him in the 20s and play the other guys, but they didn't play none at all. You know, so that they obviously needed Dragon out there more, and they felt that maybe Nunn needed to kind of reflect a little bit more on what's going on. And so you've got Nunn now kind of watching everything going on. Tyler Hero added 15 points. Derrick Jones Jr. ended up playing yesterday, coming back from the neck injury, played 14 minutes. Spo went about 9 deep yesterday on the roster. So that was his rotation. Whether he goes deeper, hey, some people go only 8 deep in the playoffs. So 9, will he go deeper? He could go 10 now, because obviously Nunn did not play in this game. I don't know if he'll play in game 2, which, by the way, they are a 1 o'clock start on Thursday. So I think tomorrow maybe we start the show a little earlier from Toyota.
How early do you want to go? Because remember, I have to pod and get home. Although it's recorded, but you know.
No, I get it. Well, either way, you're going to be late.
You want to do a 10, maybe 9:30, 10?
Yeah, something like that. Probably a 10 start is probably
okay. You heard it. You heard it first here from the Big O.
Yeah, we probably
adjustment again to tomorrow's schedule.
Yeah, tomorrow we may start at 10 a.m. Just to kind of.
No, and everybody else wants to watch the game.
Yeah.
I don't want to deny them the enjoyment of winning playoff basketball.
Well, usually at least the hardcore that watch every day and tune in, so we can kind of get most of the show in before the game starts, and then we can move on, obviously. But good stuff yesterday, man. It was, hey, look, they did what they were supposed to do now against them yesterday, and they've got to take care of business. I think the key thing will be you are going to play the Bucks Magic winner, and all of it. And yesterday, the 2 8 seeds ended up beating the number 1 seeds, which is really wild. I did not expect the Bucks to lose to the Magic. I did not expect the Blazers to beat the Lakers at all. You know what I mean? But Miami is going to play the Bucks and the Magic. Now, maybe the Bucks wake up and win the next 4 and it's over. But if you're Miami, you got to try to finish these guys out as quick as possible, and then hope that the Bucks and the Magic have a long, dragged-out series. And Miami, by the way, matches up really well with Milwaukee. So it's not like a game that they're going to go in going, oh, my God, we got no shot. No, they got a shot. They shouldn't win, but they got a shot at least at Milwaukee. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that series. But I got to say, I was as shocked as anybody. Although some people weren't as shocked with the Blazers because some people were picking them. Even Barkley yesterday was picking Portland to win and win the series, period. And I personally was one of those guys that wasn't buying in on the Lakers, whole 8-game thing. I thought they weren't really motivated, but we'll see what ends up happening. They did not look good yesterday, that's for sure. And playing 3 7-footers, unless they're 3 7-footers that can shoot lights out from the perimeter, we're not in the 90s anymore, bro. We're not in the 80s and the 90s. I don't know where the coach thought that was the way to go. That's the one thing that I would say, and the announcers were like, oh, they're trying to impose their will with the 3 7-footers, and I'm going like, do you guys watch today's basketball? I mean, I miss the 80s and the 90s basketball more than anybody, but
people are going more Houston Rocket lineup than big.
You got to change. No, but if you're going to play 3 7-footers, then they got to be Dirk Nowitzki. They've got to be guys that can put the ball on the ground, they can shoot and all that stuff. That's not what you have. So they're more traditional, closer to traditional than they are, today's type of big man. So that's why, to me, they're going to have to tweak all of that. Okay, and whether they have to play more Dion Waiters or whatever, I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna have to count on J.R. Smith, and that's crazy, but you may have to kind of count on those kind of guys. But Miami took care of business last night. I was proud of them. They did what they were supposed to do. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and call this like an incredible win. They're better than the Pacers. Okay. And you know what, Bill? We went 3-1 against the number yesterday because the Lakers failed us, of course. But karma is a beautiful thing. I got screwed 2 days ago because Porzingis got ejected. Well, I got helped yesterday that Oladipo got ejected because Miami was favored by 4.5. Maybe it's a tighter game with Oladipo there. Maybe I don't win that game yesterday. So kind of balances out, right? You get screwed one night, you get helped the other night, So it's one of those things. So I'd like, you always want to mention the bad breaks, right? But most people don't mention the good breaks either. That they'd like, hey, okay, it hurt you here, but it helped you here. And last night I'm sitting there going, well, I was frustrated 2 nights ago with the Porzingis ejection and the 2 cheesy fouls. Now I get helped out with the Oladipo one, and I'm like sitting there going, okay, well. All right, Miami, let's go. You easily got to win by 4.5 now. And sure enough, they won by 12 and got it done for us. Yesterday, just so you'll know, we went 3-1 against the number. We told you to go over 225 with the Magic and the Bucks. The score was 122 to 110. You do the math, 232. So they went over. I told you to take the Heat minus 4.5. They won by 12. I told you to go over 225 in Rockets and Thunder. Well, they scored 231, and we won that one. And then the only one we lost was we took the Lakers minus 5 against the Blazers, and obviously the Blazers won by 7, so we lost by 12 in that game, but we went 3-1. We'll give you our picks in a couple of minutes here on the program, so you guys are ready for day 3 of the playoffs. So for right now, we're 5-3 against the spread at this point in time.
As far as Indiana, look, they're going to play. You're going to have to show up and play.
Yes.
You're going to have to play 48 minutes of basketball because they are not going to quit.
Yeah, but
No matter what the lineup. We should beat them.
There's no
but it isn't going to be easy.
No, it won't be easy, but there's no excuses to lose to Indiana. I'm not
agree.
saying game.
but you know as well as I do.
I'm not saying a game. They could lose a game in this series. All I'm saying is Miami better win this series and win it comfortably. Okay? Not 7 games. Even going to 7 with this team would be a loss in this series. I expect them to eliminate them in 4 or 5 games.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Right now, the way it's looking, it should be 4.
Yeah.
It should be 4.
Well, I doubt Oladipo's going to be out for all the games.
Right.
So they'll get him back, and he still is, a pretty good player. He's an all-star type player, so that should help out. And, again, they're gritty. They're tough.
I give them 5 if they have Indiana, but they're playing in Orlando.
Right.
They don't have that, and you know as well as I do. That's our kryptonite, man, going to Indiana.
Yeah, but Miami doesn't have home either, and that's their kryptonite too, that they're great at home and they suck on the road. So they don't have a home crowd either, so Miami is also susceptible to it. And yesterday there were moments where, Indiana was kind of, having their way. So good job by the Heat last night. Let me do a little roll call here. Gus 1388 is the first one in. Ian from Brooklyn is in the house. Raging Dolphin Maniac, Omar Lopez, Antonio Matos, man of 1,005 holds, Samuel Robina. He looked pretty good. I honestly think that they did not even play their best game. Heat in 5 games. They probably did not play their best game. Roderick Friedman says, digging the mask. Thank you. Today we went 007. I found this 007 one, and I said I had to kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm a big fan of the 007 franchise. So the only thing is, and I like Pierce Bronson. No, this is Timothy Dalton. I like Timothy Dalton, but that's not the guy that should be put here. It should be like Sean Connery. You know what I'm saying? But, whatever. We got Daniel Craig here. We got Pierce Bronson here. We got Roger Moore here. We got, George Lazenby, Sean Connery here. And that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. There you go.
You covered all the bases.
Yeah. Lazenby is probably the worst. For me, Daniel Craig is the second worst. I know some of you out there like
what? The new ones? Really?
The new guy, yeah. I don't like him. He has no personality. Nothing. He has no personality. No, hey, listen. I am in the minority here. Tons of people love Daniel Craig. Okay? I think he does a nice job. All right, but I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm just saying that out of the 6, he's my 5th guy.
See, I got him.
Well, no, you know what? Timothy Dalton is 5th. Then he's 4th. I'm sorry. My bad. So Lazenby's the worst. Dalton's the second worst. And then, no, you know what? I'm going to go him 5 and I'm going to go Dalton 4. Either way. But the other 3 are in another class by themselves. Pierce Bronson is better than all 3. Pierce Bronson doesn't get enough love as a 007. I thought he was outstanding as a 007. Nobody is what's it called?
Close to Sean.
Nobody's Sean Connery.
No, well, of
and
course.
then Roger Moore is next. I love Roger Moore because he had personality, brought some comedy, to it. And I thought also, I thought, what's it called? Not Dalton.
Pierce.
Pierce, I thought, also had some personality to it too. Dalton was dry. You know what I mean?
The thing that got messed up with it, honestly, I mean, we know Pierce should have been James Bond probably 7 or 8 years before when they first talked about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that would have helped the franchise a little.
Yeah. So we went 007 today. I love me some 007.
Can't go wrong that way, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's see. A man of 1,005 holds is in the house. Clifton Wellman. Let's see. Dougie Fresh says Big O and Bill Bond from worst to best. Worst, Timothy Dalton, then Pierce Bronson, then Roger Moore, Daniel Craig, and then Sean Connery as the GOAT. Yeah, but you left out Lazenby. Dougie Fresh, you can't do a list without Lazenby. So he's the worst.
See, I like that Bond. That Bond because he gets married, his wife, at
he's
the end.
Terrible.
Ah, man.
He's terrible. It's a terrible Bond.
You got Telly Savalas, the place in the Swiss. Man, that is
Her
a
Majesty's Secret Service
Yes.
is the name of the
yes,
episode.
That's a great Bond.
He's not a great Bond, bro. He was. I don't know. That's just me. That's all subjective. With Beagle out, why not make a run after Clowney? Different positions, my brother. Let's see. Cookie Vice, good afternoon, people. Man of 1,005 holds. He goes Connery, Bronson, Moore, Craig, Dalton, George. Okay? It's again, subjective. Everybody's going to be different, bro. I bet you somebody out there has Craig number 1 in their eyes. Big O, the other day you were talking about Portland. How about them beating L.A.? I think they will upset the Lakers. I still don't think it. I still don't believe it. But if they keep playing 3 bigs, then I can see where that's going to happen. And I was dead wrong on it. But we'll see how it turns out. I'm not going to overreact after one game. Something tells me LeBron James is going to be up everybody's craw for the next 48 hours. And he's going to get on everybody's ass to pick it up, including the coach. Don't sleep on my birthplace of Orlando. Let's go Magic. Call of Duty 1, the thing is, it's hard to believe in the Magic. You know what I mean? After years and years and years of disappointment, they do have a nice little team now. They do have a playoff caliber team now. And it was a great upset yesterday of the Bucks. I got to tell you, can I tell you a little something here? If you're a Heat fan, you got to be rooting for Orlando. Why? You want Giannis to have the worst experience with this team in the playoffs. So that way, after next season, when free agency is up and he has real doubts that they can build a winner there, he can think of leaving. But if they build a winner around the guy, he's going to stay because he's kind of, blue-collar, humble guy. And that goes well in that market with Milwaukee because that's all blue-collar in that area. So what you need is actually the Magic to shock them. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But, again, that's what you need. This is actually something you want as a Heat fan. You want Giannis to have the worst trip through the playoffs. Plus, Orlando would advance, and then Miami would face them after they beat Indiana. Not that that's always easy for Miami, but that would be a nice way to kind of make up for a lot of the losses over the last couple of years to that team. So, in a way, if you're a Heat fan, you gotta enjoy Orlando beating Milwaukee. Now, let's see if the fantasy can continue and they can extend it and actually advance. Romeo Garcia is in the house. Lewis Bryant checking in from Atlanta. Life is a gamble. Says, I called it. Orlando and Miami on fire. NorCal says, puff, puff, can't give. Good morning, VSS. Big O Show crew and listeners. I hope everybody has a great day. Dougie Fresh says, I don't know why, but Bronson bothers me. Damn. No love for Craig. And who the hell is George? Looking up now. Really? You don't know George Lazenby? He was... Sean Connery left for a moment, right? And then came back. And in that one moment where he left for one movie, they snuck in George Lazenby. And then George, by the way, hated being Bond, and they took his ass out. So yeah.
If you start with Milwaukee's third to last win, they're 3-5. going into the playoffs and obviously another loss. They're 3-6 in their last 9.
Yeah.
They're not playing good basketball.
Yeah, but there's no motivation. They had the number 1 seed locked up.
Yeah, but you better have motivation in the playoffs or you get dogged.
Now it's different. I don't count regular season and playoffs are two different things. So, for teams like that, I normally don't count what they're doing. So we'll see. Again, I'm not going to overreact after one game. I know that it's great talk and people can overreact and say, hey, the Magic are going to upset and so are Portland. I need to see a lot more before I believe any of those two are going to upset the number 1 seeds. I just do. Josh is in the house. Julius 305, DJ Gallagher, Victor Vitoni, Man of 1,005 holds, says George Lazenby was in one Bond movie, Her Majesty's Secret Service. I believe Craig is good, but Moore and Bronson are better in my opinion. Oh, who would you like to see as the next 007 after Daniel Craig? I don't know, man. That's a great question, but I don't know if I have an answer for you right now. The actor of The Outlanders? No. You got to give me the name. IMDb it and tell me. Mark McIntyre is in the house. I don't know. If I could think of one, I'll tell you. But I right now, I can't think of somebody. Black Superman should be the next Bond. Oh, you talk about Michael? Isn't it Michael Jordan? Right? Is that the name of the kid? Who's the guy that played? Well, I'm not thinking Black Superman. I'm thinking what was that movie that just was released recently? About a year ago.
The Black Panther?
Black
Is
Panther.
that the one you're thinking of?
Yeah. Black Panther. Sam Heughan. Okay. Scottish actor, best known for his starring role as James Fraser in the Starz historical drama The Outlander. Okay. He's got that Roger Moore look. Okay. All right. I got to check it out. I've never seen that show. Okay. All right. Let's see. Pat in Nashville says, I'd love to see Idris Elba as Bond. That's a good one. Idris Elba as Bond would actually be really good. That's a nice call, Pat in Nashville. I like that. I like that one. Big O Pierce Bronson is the name, not Bronson. Oh, Bronston. Okay, I see. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Let's see. Love Bronson. He would have been Bond years earlier, but said contract to play Remington Steele, so they settled with Dalton. Yeah. Dalton was Can we all agree 007 on Nintendo 64 was awesome? I never played 007 on Nintendo 64, so I wouldn't know. Oh, who's your favorite Bond girl? I love Pussy Galore. Pussy Galore she's really pretty. She had no ass. I don't know if you noticed that, but I noticed that back in those days, some of these Bond girls that were really pretty, they didn't show the backside much, but if you noticed it, she didn't have much of a backside. And so as a Latino, it's kind of a requirement for me. And I'm still, and obviously the greatest Bond girl of all time comes out of the water in a bathing suit. Okay? Tomorrow Never Dies. Her name is Halle Berry. That's the greatest Bond girl of all time.
Yeah, but you like her better in Swordfish sitting by the pool eating licorice.
Yes. Or Halle Berry can anytime pull out a gun on me. Okay? If she's going to do it the way she did it in Swordfish, it'll be two stick-ups at the same time, if you know what I mean. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. Or for the one guy, keep calling. Maybe we'll put you on hold. Let's see. In 10 years, Big O, will the Bengals say, man, I screwed up and not taking Tua? I hope so. That would be nice. Let's see. Clifton says he would be great, but they casted a woman for the new Bond. Let's see. Wow, Big O. 007 on Nintendo 64 was the best run that the Golden Gun, LOL. I don't know anything about it, my brother. Best Bond movie with Pierce Brosnan was GoldenEye. And that Russian lady was pretty, too. In GoldenEye, the red-headed, light-eyed Russian, when she's dressed in white.
Oh, the computer girl?
Yeah, when she's dressed in white in the beach and she walks over, smoking hot, dude. Really pretty woman, man. Let's see. Big O, who was your favorite intern? You, of course. When are we going to do the open for the show, bro? That's what we need to talk about. Call me, homie, so we can do it. 90 miles from Cuba. Let's see. The diamonds are all over at the end is good, O. Spot on about Halle Berry. Well, I mean, how can you ever go wrong with Halle Berry? You know what I mean? It's impossible to go wrong with Halle Berry. So there you go. So my 007 inspired mask today.
That ending scene, man, with the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris dug down, pointing into the rice paddies, the helicopter.
Oh, yes.
That's just like, what?
Love it. All right. Plenty of things to talk about. If you want to get in, you can reach out to us on the text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. And I'm seeing here where Stacey Dash is about to get divorced for a fourth time. What is it about, like, fine-ass women that can't, like, hang on to a guy? Like, Stacey Dash is going to be married now a fifth time eventually? That's crazy, dude.
She comes across as major high maintenance, correct?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Halle Berry, right? And, there's plenty of women in the past that are pretty hot, and somehow or another they can't maintain a relationship. But, Stacey Dash is a very good-looking woman. Troy Ortiz says, Ursula Andrews was pretty nice in that bikini. Yes, she was. Super beautiful. No ass. I'm just saying, brother, it's just if you're Latin or you're a brother, okay, I can stereotype with our group, okay? I can't speak about any other nationality or color or religion or anything else, but I can tell you, Hispanics and the brothers, okay, the booty is a requirement. And you're right, Ursula Andrews is smoking hot. So beautiful. She's a Miss Universe, I think she was. I'm pretty sure she was Miss Universe of whatever year. I don't know what it was. But again, in those days, skinny and looks and maybe right waist up is what was important. You know what I mean? Waist down, the hips and the booty weren't necessarily a requirement, or it wasn't looked at as something that, like, was maybe first. Like, for me, it's more important that you got a backside than a front side. Okay? You know what I mean? That's the way I am. That's all I can say. And so if you go back and look at Ursula Andrews, you won't see, Sir Mix-a-Lot did not make the song about her. Okay? Put it that way.
Favorite James Bond, Live and Let Die?
Oh.
A young Jane Seymour.
Oh, yeah. Smoking hot.
The scene with the taxi
Smoking
driver is just, hey, Jim, nice to see you, baby.
Yeah. No, she's smoking. No doubt about that. But I'm just saying, I'm just being brutally honest about that. Black British actor Lashana Lynch will be the new 007. Matthew Walker says Stacey Dash is a black woman that bleaches her skin and tries to pass off as white. So high maintenance, it's probably an understatement. You're throwing all kinds of stuff out there that I have no idea. All I can tell you is she's good looking, and she's constantly getting divorced. So it's just.
I want to say
So
one of
she's
her.
got to be high maintenance, man.
She was working for Fox, wasn't she? That was like kind of like her last, regular gig.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
I
you might
think
be
she was
right.
a. Yeah,
might be right.
she's a very Republican, staunch.
Yeah. My neighbor said that if the body wiggles, it's not big enough. It needs to jiggle. LOL. Hey, you're jiggling, baby. Go ahead, baby. Denise Richards was a good Bond babe. I mean, that was the View to Kill, right? Isn't that her View to Kill? That she's in the white dress.
Denise Richardson? No,
No, that's not Denise Richards. That's
no, Denise Richards
That's the one
is
from
the
that
one with
70s
the
show.
blowing up the pipeline, and she's the nuclear physicist.
Okay. The one
That's
the,
Charlie Sheen's wife.
Yeah, the one
Denise Richardson.
Right, the one I'm talking about is the one from that 70s show in A View to Kill.
Yes.
What's her name? Barbara something? Is it Barbara?
No.
She's smoking. And
I don't want to cheat.
she was smoking in that
When she got married or whatever, remember she brought all the Bond girls back on that 70s show.
Yeah.
She had like 3 of them. One of them was actually Octopussy, the blonde girl, the the number one.
Barbara Bach, isn't it, or something like that, or
Well, it wasn't her. It was her like first study, the understudy,
Okay.
the blonde girl,
okay.
the one that's sitting there with Kamal
Yep.
when they're doing the Fabergé egg.
Yeah,
That girl, she was one of the bridesmaids.
yeah. Favorite Bond song? Oh, Live and Let Die, bro. Live and Let Die. Live and Let Die, and then A View to Kill right after. Those are probably my favorite, for sure. Live and Let Die has to be the greatest Bond theme ever. Not only is it my favorite movie out of all the Bonds, okay, and I'm a Sean Connery guy, but that one is
The scene with the redneck sheriff,
Oh,
and
God, yeah.
the scene at the alligator farm.
yeah.
I mean, Kananga, man, you could go on. The guy that was a 7-Up, never had it, never will.
Yes.
Man, it just got so many elements in it.
Yes, yeah. No, it's Live and Let Die is just absolutely amazing.
Whisper with the air gun thing, and he blows up on the couch.
That's right. Gus got it right. Denise Richards and The World Is Not Enough. That's the one, right?
Yeah, she's the nuclear physicist.
Yeah.
That's the girl that's blowing up her own pipeline. Remember?
Right. Exactly. The one that was actually kind of pretty was the girl that was in love with the dude that had like a brain thing and he was crazy and all that. I think that might have,
That's the same one.
but
That's the same one. The girl that like faked her own kidnapping and
Right,
this and
that
all,
one.
and she was
She's
pissed.
pretty.
She was pissed off at
she's pretty.
She was pissed off at Q or M
Yes,
because she didn't get her.
Right,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Ava Green, Casino Royale. Yeah, nice. Tanya Roberts, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Win Worker 68. Thank you. Tanya Roberts, that's the one. Tanya Roberts in View to Kill was, I mean, wow.
That scene.
Smoking.
That scene when she gets grabbed by the Zorn blimp.
Yeah,
James.
yeah.
That is one of the worst
Yes,
scenes.
it is cheesy. It is cheesy. Well, she's annoying throughout that whole thing, screaming James all over the place, like the damsel in distress and all that
beyond
stuff.
damsel in distress.
Yeah. That whole thing got out of control with her a little bit, but she looked great as a blonde and fantastic. I got to give her that. Damn, Bill is like Rain Man when it comes to 007 films. There you go. Terry Hatcher was a great Bond girl too. Terry Hatcher's really pretty. Really, really pretty. Also, my requirement is not there with Terry Hatcher either.
But they're real and they're fabulous.
Yes, they're real. They're fabulous. Yes, waist up, she looks fantastic. Waist down, no hips, no bootay. Really pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's just a requirement, man. I'm sorry. I gotta have a backside. when there's flatness there or there's barely anything, it just that's a problem for me, man. That's a problem for me. But she is beautiful. There's no doubt about that. Everything or Nothing is my favorite song. It's a good one. Is COVID slowly going away because the media slowed down on it? There are over 4,000 cases in Florida, and there were 3,000 something yesterday. There were over 200 deaths. Anybody that tells you it's slowing down, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, because it's not slowing down. If it was slowing down, we wouldn't be crossing 200 deaths. If it was slowing down, we wouldn't cross over 1,300 deaths yesterday. You know, it's just, and I don't think it's slowing down at all in coverage. I just think it gets to a point where it's kind of a broken record, so you stop paying attention to it. And now we're getting desensitized, or maybe we already are, to the fact that, you know, 1,000+ people are dying every day. Okay?
So is that sick or what, man?
Yeah.
Like 1,000 people is just, second hat, no
Right.
big deal.
That's exactly what's going on. Man.
That's so disgusting.
That's exactly what's going on. So if anybody tells you that, look, I'll just tell you right now, we have 4,115 cases and 169 dead in the state of Florida. And yesterday, we had 3,838 cases. So it went up in cases. It went down on deaths. Yesterday, we were at 223. Right now, we're at 169. And usually our numbers early are close to our numbers towards the end. So it's not going to go up much more than where it's at right now. But it's still a very high number of people that are dying. And it's 1,300 all yesterday throughout the country. That's a lot of people, dude. Okay? That's a ton of people to die over this thing. And we're losing 1,000 on average every day. Last month, it was the last month, it's been 1,000 every day. Yesterday was 1,358. So we're up to 175,000 dead. So at this pace, by the middle of next month, we'll have 200,000 dead. I mean, so I don't know about slowing down or whatever. If you don't want to pay attention to it, then it slows down for you. If you're just going to overlook it, then it slows down for you. You know what I mean? But if you actually pay attention to it every day like I do and watch it every day, I don't listen to the media to tell me about it. I actually look at the official numbers, okay, every single day and track it. You know, I'm now seeing, I'm interested to see what happens in South Dakota now over the next week or two, because that'll be a disturbing experiment that we're going to have now, because they allowed so many people in there. How many did they allow that were actually, sick? So I doubt that people are downplaying it anymore. I just think that we're getting numb to what's going on, and we're adjusting to the life that we have now.
It's becoming the norm.
Right.
It is. We've been at this now for what, 5-6 months.
Yep.
It is, we are desensitized. There's no doubt. For us personally, obviously, the influx of sports and actual stuff going on, kids going back to school and that little banter, plus obviously the election stuff. So, there's a little, there's some more stuff involved. It isn't like it was, where it was either we're talking the pandemic or we're talking about protesting. I mean, that's all we really had for what was it, a good 2-3 months.
Yeah. So listen, it all depends on how you want to look at it. That's all. That's what's happened in this country. The people that don't want to take it serious. That's why we played that Sharon Stone audio for you yesterday, and you can hear her talk about the problems in Montana and how she says, people are walking around with guns saying it's my right that I don't have to wear a mask. And yet people are obviously spreading it and dying. You know what I'm saying? So I doubt any, if you really look at it objectively, there's no way that you can be talking about this like it's going away or it's disappearing, or it's not going to disappear, especially the way we're going about everything. If everybody would follow the rules, then it would disappear. But because we're not following the rules, it's not going anywhere for a long time, unfortunately. And it's going to set all of us back. Going to continue setting us all back. All right, let's take a quick break. We're coming to you live, baby, from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by, say hi. We'll be out here for a few hours. Plenty of things to purchase out here. You need any of your CBD needs, whether it's for pain, whether it's for stress, anxiety. We've got it all for you out here, folks. And these guys out here are so educated, too, on top of all of that. So come on out, and they'll explain everything to you. And listen, on top of all of that, all the other things that they have, from hookah pipes to water pipes to e-cigarettes. They got the e-juice. They've got so many different things. And then all the other little types of items that they've got here that'll freak you out. You're going to love it, man. So come on out here, 12397 Pembroke Road here in Pembroke Pines. We'll be out here for a few more hours. Come on by and say hi. Back with more right here on The Big O Show.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
We're back. We take you here for a few more hours out here at VSS West Pines. Yes.
I just want you to know you've already met that criteria of running amok. You had 45 minutes in the first segment, so you got it under. It's done. We could do regular segments from here on out.
Okay. All right. Can't promise 45-minute segments when you hear me in the other place that we're going to be doing some shows, and you'll get that info soon. It's coming your way. Anyway, we got a lot of things to talk about. First of all, let's get into a little football. We always love talking football on this show, and especially Dolphins. We told you yesterday why why Preston Williams wasn't practicing, and I was right. Coming back from a knee injury, they're bringing him along slowly. He's expected to be out there today practicing, obviously, so he's practicing with the team today. So smart, one day on, one day off, those kind of things. The thing I saw my boy Omar, and he's a big Tua guy, right? So I saw him right. Well, I got to tell you, Dolphins, I can't sugarcoat it, and Tua hasn't looked great, hasn't looked terrible the first 2 days, hasn't been anything spectacular. I got to tell you something, man. They're only going to have these guys there for 2 weeks. I'm talking about the media. They're going to be working through a lot of things in the first 2 weeks that has nothing to do with really game planning. It has nothing to do with starting or not. It's about people getting acclimated to what they're doing and getting in football shape. And you're figuring out, is this guy better running routes on the left side outside, on a slot side, on the right side? Is he better at right guard or left guard? Is he better at left tackle or right tackle? Is he better as a swing tackle? Can he play center? Can he go from tackle to guard? Can he go from guard to tackle? This is what's going on. Okay, linebacker, can he cover? Can he rush? Let me find out what this guy can do. So they're going to be playing a lot of people because this is a new team. There are very few spots that are established and that for sure you're going to have those spots and those starters. There's a whole bunch of spots that are up for grabs, and people have to figure it out. And who's going to be the third guy? Will it be Isaiah Ford? Who's it going to be? You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Will the Merritt kid get some time? Will the Navy kid get some time? I don't know. These are all things that we've got to figure out. But they're not going to figure it out in the first day or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6 of camp. Okay? It's going to take weeks into the regular season. That's what it's going to take. They're not going to have their offensive line settled by, 3 weeks from now. They're going to hope that they have the 5 guys they think can start. But they're not deep down inside sure these are our 5 best. Because nothing that they do this month while they're preparing will actually get them ready for an NFL season. So it's like the assessment of anybody early on is crazy. I do this every year when I go to the Senior Bowl. I throw Monday out the window, or Tuesday in this case, because they don't practice Mondays anymore. But what I'm saying is the first day of practice, guys came from all over the country, and they come to Mobile. They've never played together, and so all of a sudden you think in the first day there's going to be some chemistry? No, yeah, there's some, because some guys are just, they're pretty good at figuring things out real quickly. But most guys, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. And that's what's going to happen here with the Dolphins. So to assess where Tua is right now, like today, there was like a throwing thing that they had between the 3 quarterbacks, right? Safid Dean, I think, is the one that tweeted out. Let me see if I can find the tweet for you and read it to you. And again, it's just not a big deal, right? But let me see. Oh, God. You know what? I'll pull it up this way with Safid. There we go. So he writes, friendly competition fits Josh Rosen and Tua through 40-yard passes at a throwing net at the corner of the end zone. Rosen and Tua both made throws into the net. Didn't see all the throws, but Rosen raised his hands like he won the contest between them. So what am I supposed to get with that? You know what I mean? It's just a throwing, exercise. No big deal. It's just hard. And I get it. We're thirsty for the material. The writers have to write something. People have to talk about something. But I refuse to make this more than what it is. It's just practice. And in practice, you're experimenting. In practice, you're trying to figure things out. Okay? You're trying to get timing down. You're trying to get an understanding of what you have to do down in situations and things like that. It's just too hard in a team sport, the ultimate team sport, which is football, where 11 guys have to be in sync. I know it's a cliche and all that stuff, but yeah, if there's a guy or two off, it screws everything up. And at this point, there's no way people are going to be in sync. So when I hear these assessments, it just gets too crazy right now. And I'm telling you guys out there as fans, take a step back, relax. Don't overreact. Tua, here's the other thing. I'll give it to you. Where the coach, he said, Tua threw some good passes and some bad passes. And here it is. Floors on Tua's progress so far. Some good, some bad. Some good throws and good decisions. Some throws that aren't so good. Some decisions that weren't so good. Flo doesn't give you anything. Not even Tua. Fitz last year didn't play well to start off. And if he would have played well, Rosen would have never played. But then Fitz was playing so bad, they gave Rosen a shot. And then Rosen didn't play well. They went back to Fitz. And then Fitz started to play well, and they never went back to Rosen. Because that's who Flo is. Flo is going to play the best player. He's not going to give a job to somebody like they did here to Ryan Tannehill. They gave him the job and never brought in any competition. And he's not going to treat you because you're a first rounder or second rounder. Oh, well, no, you've got to play in front of that street free agent. No, dude, if that street free agent, Preston Williams, is outplaying you, draft pick, you, big ticket free agent, Preston Williams starts. What happened last year? Preston Williams started. Why did Preston Williams play? Because he was better than everybody except Devontae Parker. So that's why they went with Preston Williams. That's the coach you have now. That coach doesn't play politics. He doesn't try to justify a draft pick. He doesn't try to justify a street free agent that you paid a lot of money to. If you want to play on Flo's team, you must play the game the right way. And when you do play, it's because you earned that spot. They didn't freaking give it to you. That's what that guy... So he's not going to treat Tua like the golden child you and I treat him like. He's going to treat Tua like everybody else. Make the plays, be smart, or your ass is on the bench. It's pretty simple. Kenneth Cleveland, thank you, my man. Chiming in with a little super chat. He says, Big O, Kenneth in Cleveland is live from the Boom Boom Room. Big O, let's do a remote from the Boom Boom Room. There we go. I like it. Can we invite Halle Berry to the Boom Boom Room is the question. That would be, interesting if we can get her into it. But anyway, I just, the overreaction and the desperation for news, let's not get into the point where we're creating the news. Okay? Let's actually wait till, remember last year, right? People were overhyped. Oh, the Dolphins are trying to, tank and this and that, and they were never tanking. Not at any point were they ever tanking. But that's the narrative. That's what people wanted to do because it was the lazy take in the media and fans. And it couldn't have been further from the truth because as they kept winning, obviously there was no tanking. Now they figured out, oh, I see, they tore down the team and they're building with youth. And they're trying to win with young guys because the young guys have a future. Old guys don't. So if Flores can get a young guy to play at a high level, you will start. But if the young guy's too green and not ready, well, then Kalen Ballage, guess what? We're going to bring in Howard and we're going to bring in Breida. Because I bet you if Kalen Ballage would have followed up his rookie year with an ass-kicking year, one of those two guys isn't here. Maybe they bring one to complement to complement Ballage, which would be Breida. Because Ballage is a big kid. He can work on the short yardage stuff. He can do all that stuff for you. And Breida's a speedster. You could have done that with him, and they didn't. And because Ballage sucked last year and they lost confidence in him, they went and replaced you with a veteran. It's pretty simple. I mean, everything is laid out for you the way they do things. And what Flo said, it's the Flo and the Spo thing. What Flo said about Tua wasn't a derogatory thing. It was, we're going to keep the kid in check. And just because you're a first-round pick, Austin Jackson, doesn't mean you're going to start. Dude, you got to earn that spot. And if Austin Jackson doesn't play well, he's not. This isn't Dave Wannstedt. Okay? Dave Wannstedt used to justify his draft picks. I know because I used to, rip him all the time for doing that. And even if the guy did not play well, it was like they were trying to justify the pick and they'd keep it in there. Well, he's learning, he's growing. No, dude, he's not good enough. Get him out of there. Get somebody else in there. That's Flo. So don't fall for the tricks already that he does with all youngsters. Okay? The youngsters have to find a way to prove themselves. And when they do, then they get Flo's respect. But until then, he's going to treat you like what you are, a rookie. So all of what he said about Tua, there was nothing negative about it. It's just keeping a rookie humble. Good thing about Tua is he's not Johnny Manziel, and he's not going to have, a practice where he throws two exceptional balls, and from that moment on, he thinks he's all world. Tua doesn't care about that. That's the good thing. You know what I mean? And Tua probably loves this kind of coaching. I mean, how do you go to Nick Saban and you don't love this kind of coaching? You know what I'm saying? So, is what it is. Radically says Rosen has been doing great in the first 2 days, according to reports. How many weeks do we get this season due to the coronavirus? Well, John, that's the $1 million question, my brother. I don't think we'll get much, but, I've been wrong before plenty of times. Isais says, what's up, Big O? Thank you, Isais, for tuning in. Teams with solid lines last year will jump ahead of everyone else. Yep, that's right. And if Miami can build a solid line, they got a shot at 500 or better. Herman says, one of the reasons why Devontae Parker elevated his game is because Preston Williams came in out of nowhere to become a great wide receiver. Well, it helped, I'm sure, to watch that youngster. There's no doubt. Kenneth in Cleveland says, of course we can invite her. All right, let's not only invite Hallie, let's get her to attend. It's very important we get her to attend. One of the reasons why, let me see, wait a minute, what is it? Big O, it's Big O, what are your expectations for this weird 2020 Dolphin season? My brother, I'm just hoping they can stay on the field and develop. But if you're asking me to put a number on it, probably somewhere in the 7 to 9 range in wins is probably what I'm hoping for. I finally feel that the Finns are on the upward trajectory. Greer and Flo are on the same page, and I think both are exceptional in their respective roles. And let me tell you something, Jean-Luc. First of all, they're on the same page because one guy hired the other, which is really important. Think about all the years past. It's you kept the head coach and then brought in a general manager that didn't hire that head coach. And then you kept the general manager, but then you went out and find a head coach that you had to do it with a group of individuals, the team president, the team owner. It wasn't like the GM only making the decision. You understand? Like, I don't know if Jeff Ireland hires, Adam Gase, let's say, or Joe Philbin, or any of these kind of cats that he worked with. Not Gase, but Philbin, let's say. You finally did something you hadn't done in forever as an owner. You got the hell out of the way. You named the general manager and said, yo, it's your team. Go ahead and do what you need to do. And so then Chris Grier went and hired his guys. Okay? He knows Brian Flores for 15-plus years. He likes him. He brought him because he knows about him. He saw Reggie McKenzie became available because the Raiders let him go. He said, I'm taking him. He knows Marvin Allen. He knows what he's done in Atlanta and Kansas City. He said, I'm bringing him over. And so you actually allowed the general manager to bring his football people in. He didn't inherit anybody. He didn't have to go hire somebody that the owner liked. None of that crap. He didn't have an accountant above him playing general manager, buying players or doing funky trades or extending ridiculous contracts like Ryan Tannehill. None of that. You allowed the general manager to make the decision on who his coach is, who his personnel people are, and then you allowed him to clean house and straighten out the team the way he wants to do it. And that, my friends, let me tell you, is why the Dolphins are in that trajectory, why things are going well, why they have two quarterbacks that they either traded or drafted for in 2 years, okay? Why they've already revamped their wide receiving core, why they've got a load of offensive linemen now. Now we'll find out how good they are, but they've made the investment that you and I have been wanting forever on the offensive line. And they're doing things that football people do to build teams. That's why you feel good, my brother. I think that's why we all feel good about the Dolphins now at this point. Okay? All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. Yesterday we went 3-1 against the number. Let's give you the lines today. The 1:30 game, it is the Nets and the Raptors. Right now, the Raptors are favored by 11.5 points. The over and under is 226 in this game. And the money line for the game is plus 655 for the Nets, minus 855 for the Raptors. This is one of those, again, this is one of those games, ladies and gentlemen, that it's hard to get a feel for because, again, this is, the Nets aren't supposed to be hanging with the Raptors. They lost by, by 24 points in the last game. Raptors are favored by 11.5, and the over and under is 226. They scored 244 points in the first game. I'm going to go with the over once again in this game. Over 226, okay? The 11.5, I don't know. You got to feel pretty good about it if you want to lay it. But I really like the over 226 here because I think they're going to score again a lot of points like they did in the first game where they scored 244. So I can see them getting to 230. I'm going to ride the over here on this one. I'm pretty close to laying the number, but definitely don't take the number. Don't take 11.5 because the Nets are just not good enough, and they're going to end up running out of gas in this series. Jazz Nuggets. We won this game last time because we took the Jazz. No, I'm sorry. I think the Nuggets pulled away. No, we had this game. This is where they screwed us in this game. So Jazz ended up losing by 10, 135 to 125. So Nuggets are now leading 1-0 in the series. Jazz again are trailing in this game 4.5. Nuggets are favored by 4.5. The over and under is 218. They scored a lot more than that. They scored 260 points in the last game that they met. I like the over again in this game, so I'm going to go over 218. I'm going to stay away from the point spread only because I'm just not trusting the Jazz right now. There's somebody else needs to step up next to Donovan Mitchell to become that difference maker. I don't know who the hell it's going to be for the Jazz, but because Rudy Gobert really can't do that. That's not his thing. He can dominate inside and he can, block shots and rebounds and all of that, but they really need somebody else, okay? I don't know who. I don't know. I don't even want to start throwing out names because I really don't know if they have that guy next to Donovan Mitchell that can really score some points on a consistent basis. I don't even think they have that guy, Joe Ingles or whatever. No, I'm sorry. But that's why I'm not going to stay. I'm going to stay away from the 4.5. And I know you're saying, well, then why not give it? The Jazz play good enough defense that somehow or another they can make it interesting. But I think they will go over the 218. So I'm going to go with that at least. The Celtics are favored by 4.5 over the 76. Did lose Gordon Hayward in this one, but they're deep enough. And the 76ers, they don't have enough scoring. They don't have enough shooting themselves at times. So I am actually going to go Celtics minus 4.5 in this one. Over and under is 215. It's too close, man. They did 210 in the last game. I don't want to touch the over and under. The money line, plus 170 for the 76ers, minus 195 for the Celtics. Just a little too high for me right now to be messing with that. The 9 o'clock game, which is the interesting one, the Mavs had the Clippers all the way in this game. And that's the reason why I took the plus 6 last time, and they lost by 8. They easily would have had this if Porzingis stays in the game. Porzingis will be back for this game. Clippers are favored by 6.5. And I'm taking the Mavs here, man. I'm going Mavs plus 6.5. I like what they did last time. They got to keep going. It looked to me like the Clippers were having a lot of trouble keeping up with the Mavs offense. What people don't realize is Dallas has the best offense in the league. They've had it for a while. That's why I took it plus 6. And I'm counting on Porzingis to stay in the game. I'm not counting on them to win the game. They might, because they were in control last time. But if they're going to play like they did in game 1, I got no problem taking the 6.5. I think the Mavs, if they lose within the 6.5. So, over 226 Nets Raptors, over 218 Jazz Nuggets, Celtics minus 4.5 against the 76ers, and the Mavs plus 6.5 against the Clippers. Those are the picks.
Dallas and the Clippers are 1-2 in offensive efficiency, by the way.
Yeah, Dallas has been amazing, dude. So I would not mess around with Dallas.
They're scary, man. They got something going on there.
Yeah,
they're a mismatch. The matchup with them, man, it's really hard.
I like them on the offensive side. I don't respect them enough on the defensive side.
Oh, they don't. It doesn't exist.
Right. That's my problem with Dallas. So as the rounds get deeper, that'll be tougher for them to perform. But if they eliminate the Clippers, well, that's a monster. Can you imagine if the Magic eliminated? I'm sorry, if the
Lakers and Clippers get taken out,
if Portland takes out the Lakers and the Mavs take out the Clippers, wow, that throws everything into just a complete crazed type of situation, man.
TV's not going to be happy with that scenario.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Oh, how long are we going to be able to keep McKenzie and Allen now that the Finns are showing improvement? Keep McKenzie and Allen. What does that mean? I'm not. I'm not. It's too early, and I think. Well, wait a minute. I don't think they'll go anywhere. Actually, I think they'll stay here for a while because they've bounced around a couple of teams already, and now maybe they find a home where they can do something positive together and not get screwed by other people in the NFL. So I think we're going to have them around for a while. I just, I don't think that change is coming that quickly. You know what I mean? I think they're going to want to, win the Super Bowl first. And then maybe you could lose a guy down the line. Okay? But for now, I think they're ours for a long time. Let's see. Man, how about the Marlins? Damn, killing me. 4 in a row. They've lost. And 7 of 9. I mean, let's be honest. It was a great story early on, and they were doing things that they weren't supposed to do. Now life and reality is catching up to them. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. I'm watching them, and they're doing things that young teams are supposed to do, struggle in certain areas, and that's what they are right now. And they're just not good enough in the hitting department. They actually have some pitching. I will say that, but they have no hitting right now. They're just not consistent enough with their offense, and that's a problem. But, I mean, it shouldn't be killing you. You know what I'm saying? Because you really shouldn't have expected much from them. And what they've done so far, they've still overachieved. They're 9-8. I would have never thought 9-8 in the first 17 games.
Getting those hopes up,
Yeah.
The thing about it is, it's baseball.
Yeah.
A team that loses 100 games still wins 62.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? And when you do 162, most series are 3-game series. That's 54 series as you play. You win 62. You're going to win 1 game out of the 3.
And that's
that's
where they're at now. They're
right.
Winning 1 out of the, and that's kind of who they are actually.
Well, we're actually 9-8. We're a little bit ahead of that, man.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They've still overachieved. Having said all of that,
maybe they need to go back out on the road,
Would be nice, right? The organization has definitely failed over the years, but now we have true structure, so optimism about the future isn't far-fetched concept. Not with the Dolphins, nope. I'm praying the Bucks early exit and Giannis rethinks re-signing. Riley is licking his chops. I'm with you there. There's no doubt about it.
I was getting all excited because then we get to pick up where we left off at the All-Star game, right?
Yes.
And do the courting of Giannis.
Yep. James says it was painful watching Yamamoto last time out. He looked like he got lost, got demoted immediately after the game. Might not be starting rotation material with that mindset. He's not a bulldog. No, you definitely not. Yamamoto, God, that's been a terrible move. As a Finns fan since 1971, I want another Super Bowl before I'm pushing up daisies. I'm with you, man. But as unlikely as it may be, it would be a shame if it happened during an oddball COVID season with no fans. David, it's not happening this year. Okay, so you can forget about that, bro. Dolphins aren't anywhere close to being a Super Bowl team. So let's not go to the ridiculous state. Okay. It's not going to happen by accident. It's not going to happen at all. The Dolphins are nowhere near being a Super Bowl contender, okay? First of all, I don't even think there'll be a football season, but if there is one, they'd be lucky to go to 7 or 8 wins, okay? There's no playoffs. There's no Super Bowl for this team. It's year 2 of a rebuild, a massive rebuild.
You don't know who your 5 guys on your offensive line are.
Yeah, those type of things should not even be in your mind. I've told you guys this before, okay? You have to think about, okay, I want to watch Rosen and Tua improve. I want to see Preston Williams build on what he did. I want to see Devontae stay, healthy. I want to see us find 5 guys on the line, or at least 3 or 4 of them. Okay? Because think about it. If you at least get 3 or 4 at the end of the year that you feel really good about, then you're successful. That means you hit on a few of the guys. You're going to swing and miss. You're not going to hit on all the guys. But if you find 3 or 4 really good ones that you're like, okay, we got almost our whole line, we need to go fish for one more, too, that's fine, bro. You got a whole bunch of picks again next year. You know, that's what this season should be about. Don't think about playoffs. Don't think about double-digit wins. Don't think about Super Bowl or any of that crap. Don't think about any of that, because all you're going to do is let yourself down. You know, it's like that. It's like the I don't know where the text is now, because a couple came in, but the Marlins are killing me. Well, the Marlins really shouldn't be killing you. They're 9-8, bro. They've given you more wins than you expected. And to think that they're going to go off to run into the playoffs and do something, it's just not realistic. So what's going on with the Marlins now, losing 4 in a row and 7 of 9, this is probably more of who really they are, actually. They're the team that, like Bill said, you're going to win 1 game out of 3. And that's what they've been the last couple of years. They shouldn't be any more than that, because they don't have enough established young players on this team. So, Dolphins, don't be putting, unrealistic expectations on yourselves. Same thing as Marlins fans. These are developmental years. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's just hope the players are able to develop. That's all. Let's feel better about Monte Harrison at the end of the year. Like, okay, well, it's only 60 games, but whatever. You're like, okay, the kid looked pretty good, did well. Sandy Alcantara, okay, he played well, he pitched well. You know what I mean? That's how you're going to feel good about building on the Marlins for the following season and the season after that. But just because they had the hot start, you still had to kind of check yourself and say, hey, enjoy it, but don't go overboard with it. Okay?
Sip the Kool-Aid, don't chug it.
Yeah. Alan D says, I don't know, Big O, in this division, I would not be surprised if we win, but definitely no Super Bowl. You can try to win in this division, maybe, but then again, you might just be a 500 team, and there might be a bunch of 500 teams in this division.
I was going to say, if somebody comes out with 10 wins, that probably wins the AFC East.
It should be Buffalo, bro.
Right.
With their defense, their running game, and their offensive line, I have no respect for their quarterback. But if the kid can just kind of get out of his own way, they should be the winners of this division. They're way ahead of us.
They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, no.
They got a little experience.
They're way ahead of us. Way ahead of us. Not at quarterback, but at everything else, they're way ahead of us right now. That's the truth. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. In another year or two, it'll be a different ball game. But right now, it's still, embryonic stages for this Miami Dolphin team. They had Eric Flowers and a couple of O-line rookies running gassers. They came in with too much baby fat. I don't know what that means, but again, it just there's not a team to look at. And NorCal says 7 wins this year would be a huge improvement looking at the schedule. NorCal, I'm with you, man. I think 7-9 is something that they can achieve. If they got to 5 last year, all the talent that they've added, I can see 2 more wins on top of 5, at least 7. I can see that. And I'm with you, NorCal. That would make me incredibly happy if they can get to 7 wins. I would feel outstanding about the Dolphins' future, because that's what it's all about. And then we could go to Cleveland and have a lot of fun for the draft. Mr. Ballgame says Bills will win 10+. They should. In this division, they should. I can't argue with that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Not that I'm rooting for it. I hope the Bills lose 10+. Okay? I hope the Patriots lose 10+, and I hope the Jets lose all 16. That would be fantastic. That means the Dolphins will be sitting pretty on top of the division. But reality, the Bills are way ahead right now. They have to. if the Bills don't win 10 games, they should be embarrassed. Okay? A division where two of the teams are still trying to figure out their quarterback, and the third has a guy that sees ghosts and throws a whole bunch of turnovers. The Bills should be thinking confident, and they should be the team. It's their division to lose.
Okay, so the Bills lose 10, the Patriots lose 14, the Jets lose 16. We go 7-9. We're the third all-time 7-9 division winner. Is that what you're talking about?
It could happen. It could happen. It could happen. Crazier things have happened.
And then do like the Saints that year, be 7-9 and win your first playoff game.
Crazier things have happened. Crazier things have happened. All right. 786-322-1105. John says, what team do you hate the most, Jets or Patriots? Oh, no, Jets. Jets over the Patriots. I know you put Patriots, but Jets. Always. You know why? At least the Patriots can be arrogant because they've got 6 titles. The Jets are arrogant and they've never accomplished anything since 1969. And when they win like 2 games or 3, they think like they're headed to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So there's this arrogance that comes with it that's ignorance too. And so I would have to put the hatred over the Jets. See, if you hate the Patriots, I think it's more about jealousy than actual hate. Really. Okay? Because the Patriots have kind of been the doormat for the Dolphins forever. It's just these last 20 years with Brady that everything changed. But outside of that, the Patriots were a nothing team forever. The rest of my existence, the Patriots were a joke. What, that they slipped in and got embarrassed by Chicago because we fumbled 3 or 4 times in the AFC Championship game? Big deal, bro. You know what I mean? Dolphins were still better than that team, and they should have been in the Super Bowl for the rematch of that damn game. So for me, I've been around for a long time. So if you're young, if you're in your 30s or younger, for you, I can understand why you hate the Patriots more than the Jets, because most of your existence, the Patriots have been kicking ass and embarrassing the Dolphins. I get that. But for me, I still think that, the Patriots, outside of the window, they were never a threat to Miami. So I don't hate them nearly as much. But the Jets, oh, man. The Jets is automatic, bro. It's automatic hate, like ravaged hate. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect example was the night when NorCal had the gathering and we're at Bow Campers, remember? And there were those few Jet fans, and they come over to all of us Dolphin fans and start, and it's like,
right.
Who do you think you are? You're not the Patriots.
Right. That's the thing. The Jet fans sometimes act like they're the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? So that would be, it has to be the Jets for me, man. Has to be the Jets for me. Because, listen, I'm the one that's telling you I think it's going to end now for the Patriots. They had their run, and it's over. They lost their guy, the guy that really lifted that franchise. I know Belichick's been amazing, but I think he's going to struggle from that. Look, I'll give you a story that I saw with Belichick. Do you know they're talking about possibly even a platoon at quarterback? I don't know if you guys saw this, but right now Newton is not the starter. So after all this hype about him practicing, and he's showing all these videos, and they're pre-produced with music and editing and all that stuff, and he gets to camp and he's splitting reps with the other 2 guys, with Jarrett Stidham and with Brian Hoyer. And so the people are saying that in the first couple of days, Stidham has been the better passer out of the 3. Again, I don't know what to read into it. Belichick was even asked, could he do a platoon with the guys? And he goes, anything is possible. Now, that I don't believe that that's what Belichick would do. I think he's throwing that out there like chum in the water so media can write about it and people can speculate.
He's not going to tell you nothing solid.
Yeah, he's not going to give you anything. But the fact that Newton is not the starter already right from the get-go, that's kind of an indictment on Newton. Seriously. Let's have a little fun. If he signs Phillip Rivers, do you think Phillip Rivers is competing with the other two guys? Or does Belichick say, no, Rivers is our starter? I think he says Rivers is our starter. So this agreement with Cam Newton, it wasn't like, Cam, you're our guy. No, it's Cam, yeah, we'll sign you, but you got to compete with the other two guys for the job. You understand that, right? We're not going to hand you the job. You've got to prove that you're better than the other two guys. Cam obviously is going to tell you, yeah, of course, I got no problem with that. But that's, in a way, considering how accomplished you've been in this league and what you've done, you have led a team to a Super Bowl. Not a Super Bowl win, but a Super Bowl. That's something that Brian Hoyer and Jarrett Stidham could never claim. I mean, Brian Hoyer sucks, dude. Like, he is mediocre as it gets. So I look at this and I start to think, this guy, and I'm talking about Belichick, clearly wasn't satisfied with whatever they were doing in the offseason. So he brings this guy in, okay? And I don't know if he signed him because it was the same week of the whole Cincinnati Bengals Spygate thing and all that. A lot of people think it's that. But they didn't spend any money on this guy. And so Cam also goes to a place where he's not the starter either. I've already told you, I don't think this is going to go well. I don't think Cam's a really good passer anyway. I think he's a very mediocre passer. I think he's a freak of an athlete. But the problem is, his style of football, that won't last long. So if he's got if he's going to play the game playing a Cam Newton style, then that's not going to last long, and I'm not worried about it. If somehow or another he learned how to pass from the pocket, which I don't expect that either, then I can get nervous. That's why I haven't been nervous at all about the Patriots. I just, with all the losses that they've suffered, and they added a quarterback that isn't accurate, I'm not worried about the damn Patriots, dude. At all.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Do you like the double down?
Well, it depends. I mean,
because you're at 45 minutes again.
If I have a 9,
you doubled down, brother.
If I have a 9 and a 2 on a blackjack table,
man,
then I double down.
8 and 3, 7. Yeah, you got to.
Well, yeah. Unless he has an ace or she has an ace.
Thank you. Yes.
Then I'm like, you bastard. You know what I'm saying? You know what I also hate when the dealer has in blackjack is a 2. Damn, that thing is dangerous, bro. Holy crap, I don't know how many times I've seen a dealer with a 2 and ends up with a 19, 20, or 21. What an ass-kicking card. That's one I am always nervous when the dealer has a 2. A 3, a 4, 5, or a 6, I'm killing you. I'm going all out. But a 2, there's something about that just creates havoc.
It's too much of a window to fall under the 21.
It's a 7, pops up under. They got 9. Now they get an ace. They got a 20. They get a jack. They got 19. And they just screw you over, bro.
No, you got too much play.
Admit it, if you had to live in a 300 SF apartment in Jersey or New York City, you're bleeding brood, you'd be a jerk too. Yeah, it is a tough place to live. You're right about that. You are right about that. I'm not sure the 85 Finns were better than the Pats. We blew the 85 AFC Championship. Pats could run the ball. We were all season, and Tippett was the best linebacker, not named Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, but, dude, the only reason they won that game was because of all the fumbles. That's the only reason. We don't fumble. I think it was 3 or 4 fumbles in that game, I believe. It's either 3 or 4. That changed the game completely in there.
We gave it to them.
Yeah.
And for us to lose at the Orange Bowl in a playoff game, are you? That doesn't. That.
Yeah. I want a poster of Kyle Van Noy breaking Fig Newton in half. I will hang it over my bed. Well, it's hard to break that guy in half. Hey, that's a big dude, bro. That's a big dude. But you can kind of twist him up a little bit, and let's hope they're able to do that. But seriously, I am not worried about the Patriots whatsoever. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, that's 786-322-1105. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. The other thing I was going to tell you guys, it's 1:30. Let me take a quick break. We are coming to you live from VSS West Pines. Don't forget, Toyota of Hollywood is a proud sponsor of our show. We'll be there tomorrow at 1841 North State Road 7. Go see Steve Ostrov. Go see Herbie Lopez. Some great people out there. They will take care of you. I promise you, man. Great deals. Gary Thompson, Lori Rodriguez. They've got over 1,500 square feet. Over 1,500 cars and trucks, over 400,000 square feet. That's why they are the number one volume Toyota dealership in the Southeast United States. Tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Yes. All right, we take you here for a couple of hours. If you want to get in on the program, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Email to Orlando at BigORadioshow.com. That's the other way you can get in on the program and join us here on the show. Let's see, what else do we have here to talk about locally? Let's see, what else did I wanted to talk about? I know there was there's a bunch of things, but I know I wanted to get to something Dolphin related with you guys. The other thing that a lot of times I hear people talk about, well, hey, Tua is not getting the same opportunity as Fitz sometimes because Fitz is playing with the number ones and Tua is playing with the backups. And let me tell you something, because we did this crap with Ryan Tannehill all the time. Well, Ryan doesn't have this and Ryan doesn't have that. And, Marino, at the end of his run with Jimmy eliminated all his weapons and brought in guys that he then had to develop, and new guys, Oronde Gadsden, whatever. And my point is, if you're Joe Montana, you're going to win a Super Bowl with Greg Cooper, right, and Freddie Solomon, just like you're going to win one with Rice, Taylor, and Craig. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? Either you have it or you don't as a quarterback. Either you can make plays with Mark Ingram and Phil McConkey, or you can't. Because I always laugh at people and like, oh, Phil Simms, I look at his numbers and I'm like, well, did you watch the player? Oh, I get it. You're 25 years old. You just look at stats. And it's like, you don't get it. You got to watch the games to understand how good a player is or not. And Tua, as you've noticed, he has made some plays with some of these guys. Like today, he had a little better of a day, and in his second day, it was a little better than his first day because he handed off a lot in his first day. I hate the excuse that you're playing with backups, because there are moments as a quarterback that your starter's going to get injured, and you're going to have to play with your backup guard, your backup right tackle, your backup number one wide receiver, your backup number two wide receiver, the backup slot. It's going to happen. I mean, that's just normal, bro. It's not like the Patriots are constantly bringing in incredible stars at wide receiver for Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers. They don't really spend a ton of money on wide receivers. That guy rarely plays with any kind of high draft pick or anything at wide receiver. But it's your job as a quarterback to make everybody better around you. If you can only be good with Henry Ruggs on the field, then you're not that good. I'm sorry. You got Jimmy Butler got here, and he didn't have Joel Embiid and Simmons, or he didn't have like Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins that are high picks. No, he had young guys. He had free agent guys like a Duncan Robinson, and it's his job to make Tyler Hero better and to make Duncan Robinson better. That's his job, dude. And that's what he's doing. And if you watch Tua the last couple of days and you hear about the reports, he's making some plays. He's not making a ton of mistakes out there. So that's actually positive. Okay? I don't want to look too much into it, but what I don't want is the cheap excuse. Okay? Playing with the second and third teamers doesn't make you a lesser of a quarterback. In fact, those are the moments that is going to enhance what you are as a player. Okay? Plenty of times early in his career Walter Payton played with garbage. And yet, somehow or another, he found a way to run the ball and have success, and you know what I mean? And he was an impactful player because he overcame the things around him at times because he was that special. If you're special, you will elevate the people around you. And that's what I think we're going to start seeing that we didn't see because Ryan doesn't have that. Ryan doesn't make anybody around him better. He is simply a facilitator. On his best day, he's a facilitator. Whereas Tua has a little different something to him. Okay? He's the kind of guy that can make you better and can throw you open and can see something that a normal quarterback may not be able to see. He has that kind of vision. Now, it's going to take a little while for everything to develop at this level and for him to get confident, for him to get healthy, and for him to be able to take hits and all those other things. But don't allow people to tell you ever, okay, because I'm consistent with this. I didn't give Ryan that break either. When people would say, oh, well, he's not playing with a great wide receiving core. I don't care. You need to make the guys around you that you do have better. That's all. And he couldn't do that. He could never do that because that's not who he is. This kid has that, but we're going to have to give him some time. It's not going to happen in the first week of practice. Okay? Just got to be a little patient here. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in, you can also chime in on the YouTube chat board, on the Super Chat. Many ways to get in on the program. What happened there? Okay. So far, rookies, Noah Igby, whatever the kid's name is. I have not learned how to say his last name, but so far he's looking good. Raekwon Davis, the defensive tackle, defensive lineman, I should say, has looked good so far on one-on-ones. Solomon Kinley is making a little noise. So far, Dieter did not play well, had 2 fumble snaps with Tua yesterday. These are all the kind of things that you got to give some time to develop. And I know that there's frustration with Dieter, okay? But again, he's a third-round pick. Plenty of linemen take 2 or 3 years to develop. A lot of linemen don't show up in their first year unless they're, high first-round picks that just are so talented and they're, what's the Zach Martin kid coming out of Notre Dame, and he's been a monster ever since. There are those kind of freaks, okay? Dieter was drafted in the 3rd round. I think the frustration level with Dieter is a little bit out of control. Okay? I think that we have to give the young man some time to actually figure this stuff out. And like I said, he hasn't even had a second year yet. And people gave up after the first year for so many other guys in the history of the NFL. And it's just not fair to them. Okay, this is a really difficult league to adjust to. And there is still plenty of time for Michael Dieter to turn into a very good player. Unfortunately, right now, he's got a boatload of competition, and that's going to be a little harder for him, but I think it also gives him a little motivation because you don't want anybody feeling comfortable about any of this. And certainly Dieter's not one of those guys that can feel comfortable because he's had a hard go, so far. Now, they've had several offensive line coaches, and for a rookie now in his 2nd year, that's also a little bit of a challenge for him since he's new at all of this. So we got to give him a little time. You know what I'm saying? So I would be patient with people because I know I saw people on Twitter, oh, Dieter sucks. You got to cut him. He doesn't have a future. And that is just way too early to give up on a guy. Way too early. Oh, it's amazing that the Tanny lovers still think he's a real QB after the success he had last season. It's called having a stout running game, people. Yes. So the running game, the offensive line was absolutely monstrous. But, I mean, listen, eventually this is how this league figures you out, and then they make you play chess, and they make you change, they make you counter. And something tells me that this league is going to counter everything they did with Henry last year, and they're going to force the quarterback to beat them, and that's going to get exposed a little bit more this year. And it'll be interesting to see because that's how Ryan can shut up a guy like me is, okay, running game isn't working, but you're winning off his arm. Okay, now we're talking. But I saw last year that once they shut down the running game, the passing game could not get it done. And that's what I saw last year. In the playoffs, I mean, the dude was winning playoff games by throwing 70 yards. I mean, come on, bro. That's because you don't have to do much. That's because the defense and the running game are doing all the work. But that happens, man. You know what I mean? If you go back and watch last year, Fitz would move behind Dieter after the snap on pass plays. I would have to go back and look and see what the hell, but I'm not ready to give up on the kid. Okay, I just find it ridiculous. Anybody that wants to give up on Michael Dieter, but hey, listen, plenty of people, you might have the right eye on all of this. You might be right that Dieter is not the guy and never going to be the guy. I can understand that. All right, 786-322. 1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. They are auctioning off a Michael Strahan Super Bowl jersey. The problem is they think it's a fake one. Why? There are two camps. I was saying clamps. Two camps that are claiming now to be in possession of a real jersey worn by Michael Strahan in the Super Bowl, which means somebody has a fake. Now the situation's about to explode. Both sides are claiming they have solid arguments for why their jersey is the real thing. In one corner, Michael Strahan, Pro Football Hall of Famer. In the other, Golden Auctions, one of the top sports memorabilia dealers in the country, which prides itself on trading in authentic items. Strahan claims that after the Giants beat New England in 2008, he gave his jersey to a friend and instructed that person to take it straight to Strahan's hotel room for safekeeping. Per a source close to the Giants legend, Strahan is adamant the same jersey he passed to a friend ended up in a frame, which is now on display at his home. Now, if you take a look, we're told that those stains on the jersey are champagne and Gatorade stains from the locker room celebration. But Golden's auction is disputing the claim, insisting that the real jersey ended up with a Giants equipment manager that day, who then passed it along to another person who brought it to Golden Auctions. Ken Golden, auction founder and CEO, tells us he had two well-respected photo match experts, Me Gray and Resolution Photo Matching Services, take a look at his jersey and both agree his jersey is legit. Golden also says when you take a close look at the jersey in Strahan's home, he believes there are obvious inconsistencies from high-definition photos of the jersey that were taken directly after the game. In other words, Golden believes the photo evidence proves he's got the real uniform. We are 100% confident that Strahan's jersey in the auction is authentic, and the photo matching services letter and images speak for themselves. So what happens next? We're told Golden is prepared to defend his claim and will proceed with his auction. The most recent bid for the Strahan jersey is a cool $39,000, and Golden believes it will crack $100,000. And if you look at the Strahan jersey and the jersey they have up for auction, I mean, it looks exactly the same, the jersey. The difference is some of the stains aren't as prevalent when Strahan has it on, so maybe some of it happened in the locker room, obviously, with Gatorade and everything else. Now, the question is, Strahan's jersey in his house, that one's a little different, and it's got a lot of stains, bro. Where did they play that game in 2008? It's got more stains than it looks like it would have for, I don't know, it's kind of, because you look at it and the one that's up on auction looks more like the one he's wearing. And the one he has up on the wall looks completely different. It has dirt stains that were never on the jersey. That's weird. I wonder if Strahan, did Strahan forget what he actually really did with the jersey? That's interesting. Now, the problem is the guy that has a $39,000 auction bid, after you hear this story, don't you rescind your bid because you don't know what's real and what's fake at this point, right?
Which one's Memorex?
Right. Somebody's Memorex. I mean, I personally wouldn't. First of all, I don't even know if I would ever bid on something like this because that's way too much money for anything. But, God, I don't know. If with the questions on it, I would probably pass up on it. It'll be interesting to see if this thing continues to go up for auction or does it get pulled.
Pull the bid, go make a donation to a good cause.
I don't know. Doesn't Strahan have a right to the real jersey, whichever it is? Can he sue? That's a question. See, the problem is we don't know what happened behind the scenes. Did Strahan give the jersey to somebody and then they did whatever they wanted with it? I don't know. Now, if they stole it from Strahan and he says, hey, that jersey was in my house and they stole it or whatever, then he can claim it. But I don't know what he did with that jersey. None of us do. So he says he gave it to an equipment guy who then, or a friend that was supposed to then take it straight to the house. Okay? And he claims that's the one he has there. But then they claim that an equipment guy got it and I guess it was given to him by Strahan, and then that equipment guy then gave it to the auction house. I don't know. It's we don't know who to believe at this point in time. Okay? Because I would love to believe Strahan, but he could easily make a mistake. He could have gotten confused or whatever, and, is what it is. I don't know. That's a very interesting one right there. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. That, my friends, is a 24-hour talk show as always. I tell you that every time. Kobe Bryant. Now, I was thinking about this. So the Lakers lost yesterday to the Blazers. They're down 1-0. The Lakers, I heard, will rock a special Kobe Bryant tribute jersey during their playoff run, which includes a patch to honor Gigi Bryant. And it says it's got like a black Lakers look. It's all black. And then it's, here you go, so I can show it to you guys. There you go. Okay? Black and yellow. You got it? Or black and gold, obviously, because they're the purple and gold. So I would imagine that's gold, not yellow. My bad. So they are going to wear this. It's called the Black Mamba look. And it was inspired by and co-designed by Kobe a few years before he passed. These black uniforms with a snakeskin print features 16 stars on the side to represent the 16 Lakers championships. The team is set to debut the new threads on Kobe Bryant Day, which is August 24th against the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 4 of the playoff series. Okay? Now, I just wanted to throw this out there. What happens if the Lakers get eliminated on that day? What happens if they lose 2 more and Game 4 is a 4-game sweep and they're wearing those jerseys? What happens if they actually lose this series to the Blazers and they wore that jersey in the process? Okay?
Can you say marketing backfire?
Oh, no, worse than that, dude. LeBron James is going to get the kind of heat from the Laker Nation. He will be hated by the Laker Nation at the end of the run if he doesn't beat the Portland Trailblazers. Because for them not to make the playoffs for 6 years, and then LeBron to come in, and you already had a section of fans that weren't accepting LeBron until Kobe actually kind of embraced it all and made it a little bit more, easier for the transition. And if LeBron somehow or another and that team falls short against Portland, which I still don't think it's going to happen, okay? I still think they'll beat Portland when it's all said and done. But if they happen to lose to Portland in this series, and they wore the Kobe jerseys in his honor, in all of that, Laker Nation is going to be so disappointed and so pissed at LeBron James. Oh man, I'm telling you, it's gonna get really, really ugly for LeBron James. Okay, I saw that Lakers, and after losing last night, I was like, wow. And this is Game 4. I mean, I don't expect them to lose, much less a sweep. That Game 4 would be the 4th win in a row by the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, if that's the case, then I would imagine the Lakers are fighting amongst each other, pointing fingers and all kinds of crap, going on. But I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, wow. So these guys, if they happen to lose, the heat that LeBron will get from the Laker Nation and from the Kobe fans will be unfreaking stoppable. I'm telling you. All right, 786-322. 11:05. It's 2 o'clock. It's top of the hour. We got an hour to go. We got a bunch of things to talk about. I got a little music news I want to share with you guys. I've got a couple of sports stories that I also want to share with you guys. A couple football things to get to. A couple Dolphin notes. We got all of that going on in hour number 3 right here on the Big O Show, live from VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. Back with more.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, we're back. Y'all want to reach out to us? You can reach out to us on the text line 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, that's 786-322-1105. Jesse in Minneapolis says, Big O, you had to know Tua had the class and respect goods on draft day. While waiting to be selected, the scene was the family in formation, situated at the couch. Men with lees around the necks, women with flowers on their heads, tradition, culture, respect. Yes. That's why he's so likable, you know? That's why Jimmy B wanted to join the Heat, be closer with the game on the line. Those threes were amazing last night by Jimmy Butler. Florida COVID-19 positivity rate was 7.1% for Tuesday. This is the lowest rate the state has reported since June 14. Miami-Dade positivity rate was the lowest reported in months at 9.7. My problem with all of that is, are they testing enough now? Because I think they're testing less now, not more. And so I don't know if they're trying to rig the numbers by testing less and bringing the numbers down if they can. You know what I'm saying? Look at the death rate. It's still high as hell. So until I start seeing the death rate along with, they went from 3,800 to like 4,100 positive tests today. From yesterday to today, it went up. So I don't know what to believe right now until I start seeing the real numbers, like the death numbers go down, then I'll believe it. But you know, it could go down in Florida and then go up somewhere else. Until I see that we're not crossing, 300-400. I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that if we get it down to 100 or 200 throughout the country, and we're still losing 100 to 200 Americans a day, then we can start to feel good about, okay, we're headed in the right direction to squash this thing. But man, we went over 1,300 deaths yesterday. So it's hard for me to give them any kind of credence to any of these reports because they've been saying that it's been trending down for over a month, and it wasn't. And the death rate over the last 30 days was the highest it's been. You know, and the fact that they're testing less now, that's the other thing that bothers me too. RVA says, Big O, you are right. If Lakers lose this, they're going to run LeBron James out of town. Oh, yeah, definitely. This would be perfect if rookies Hunt and Kinley could take care of the right side for a long time to come. Jesse Davis could be the swing man. And that's where Jesse Davis belongs, is a swing man. Okay? And can you see rookie guard from UGA Kinley? I think his name is starting. Anything is possible at this point in time, my friend. Okay? Shula's Steakhouse in Richmond, Virginia just closed. 20 years. Wow. Damn. I would imagine that there's a lot of businesses, including businesses like Shula's, that's going to end up closing because of this damn thing. Let's see. What's this Tony Nathan talk on the chat board? Where are you guys going? Damn. Tony Nathan talk. That's some deep dolphin talk there on the chat board for you guys. Holy moly. All right, let's see what we got here. 786-322-1105. Let me give you a little music news. First of all, history. Today we start with the Beatles. Today, in 1967, the Beatles scored their 14th U.S. #1 single with All You Need Is Love. Did you know that Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Eric Clapton, Keith Moon, and Graham Nash all sang backing vocals on the track? Did you know that?
What?
There you go. Little nugget for you. in the Beatles' #1 single, All You Need Is Love, in the chorus, in the background, it's Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, Eric Clapton, Keith Moon, and Graham Nash. You think they got some powerful friends there?
Damn, some who's who going on right there.
Okay. Thin Lizzy. In 2005, a life-size bronze statue of Thin Lizzy's Phil Lynott was unveiled in Dublin. Because obviously he, along with U2, are probably, like the biggest heroes there. Although my boy Gary Moore is right up there in as an Irish artist. That dude is one of the greatest guitarists of all time, and he's Irish. Let's see, Metallica on this date in 2001, 7 months after leaving Metallica to focus on his side project, bassist Jason Newsted made his first live appearance with that group, Echo Brain. There you go. Those are some of the things that happened in history on this date. A little B-Days. We start off in 1939. Ginger Baker today is celebrating a birthday. He was born on this date in 1939, the drummer for Cream. He passed away October 6th at the age of 80. All right. What else do we have here? Johnny Nash was born on this date back in 1940. He is a singer, and a famous song of his that went #1 in the U.S. charts in 1975, I Can See Clearly Now. There you go. Ian Gillan. Ian Gillan was the singer-songwriter for Deep Purple and also for Black Sabbath. He and I saw Ian Gillan and Black Sabbath at the Sunrise Musical Theater back in the 80s. Let's see, what else do we have here? John Deacon, 1951, celebrating a birthday, born on this date. The great bassist for Queen. All right, and who else? Oh, and one more. Born on this date, no longer with us, unfortunately, American rapper and singer Nate Dogg, the songwriter and actor, was born on this date back in 1969. Sadly, he passed away March 15th of 2011 at the young age, man, of 41 years old. Those are some of the things that happen in music history. There's an event that's going to happen that you got to check it out, and this is pretty cool. Those of you that are fans of The Clash may like this. Bruce Springsteen, Bob Weir, Tom Morello, and Josh Homme from Queen of the Stone Age are among many artists who will be celebrating Joe Strummer's birthday as part of a live stream charity event. It's a 2-hour event. It's called A Song for Joe, celebrating the life of Joe Strummer. It will air at 3 p.m. Eastern, August 21st. They will broadcast it in the honor of the life and legacy of the Clash frontman who died in 2002, while also raising funds for Save Our Stages, an organization dedicated to supporting independently owned music venues in the wake of the corona pandemic. It says to see so many musicians and artists come forward to honor Joe is really touching. Strummer's widow, Lucinda Tate, said in a press conference. Community was always important to him, whether it was playing music with friends, organized all-night campfires, or hijacking festivals. Joe was also always focused on bringing people together. Even though we can't be in the same room together, I cannot think of a better way for all of us to feel united. Joe would have loved this. Never seen before live footage of Strummer will be highlighted during the event. Other artists featured on the show, including Dropkick Murphys, Butch Walker, Lucinda Williams, and members of the Strokes. Also, actor Steve Buscemi, Matt Dillon, and Beto O'Rourke will also make appearances here. That's pretty cool, man. All right. The stream will be for free. Go to joestrummer.com to watch it, and, of course, for any of the donations. That's pretty cool. I think I'm going to watch that event. That's this, this Saturday. All right? So if you want to watch it, go check it out because I think that's going to be a really, really cool thing. The other thing that I wanted to talk about. Jeff Tate from Queensryche is doing a live stream event. Now, you're not going to like this at all, Bill. Former Queensryche frontman Jeff Tate has announced that he will be doing a special acoustic live stream event this Friday, August 21st at 5 p.m. Eastern. And Jeff and his band will perform songs throughout the years, some classics and some you won't be expecting. The live stream will also allow you to enter into a live chat where Jeff will be responding to comments live. If there's something you always wanted to ask Jeff, all streamed 100% live from Clay Castle Recording Studio in Colorado, Cork, Ireland. Or is it Cork, Ireland? Oh, okay. With thanks to Warren Tivy. Okay, so it's not Colorado, it's Cork, Ireland. Okay. All right. So if you're a Jeff Tate, Queensryche type fan, I would imagine that you're going to hear some Queensryche there and all of that. Also, The Cult is working on a new album. They have updated their 2016 album was the last one. Hidden City is actually a pretty good album. It kind of went under the radar. I have Hidden City. I thought they did an excellent job with it. They are in the studio with producer Tom Dalgatti, and they're working on new Cult songs. Billy Duffy posted that on Instagram. He says, "It's great to be back at the legendary Rockfield Studios where we recorded Dreamtime way back in the day. The project will be the band's 11th studio album and first with Black Hill Records, a newly launched rock-focused label affiliated with independent publisher Round Hill Music." So there you go. Says they say rock is dead when in fact it's very much alive. Josh Gruss, the co-founder of Round Hill, said in a launch announcement in June, rock prevails in touring, album sales, streaming in most countries, and boasts extremely devoted fans who provide steady support to their favorite artist. Damn right. Rock is not dead. Okay? So there you go. Couple of music notes for all of you out there. So, Bill, what did you think of the lit bathrooms that you sent me?
Look, I can remember the first time being at a club, all right, on the beach.
Right.
And having the mirror, the glass in between, and you're looking into the girls' bathroom.
Right.
I can also remember the first time going in and guys and girls together.
Right.
That's just the way it's colored and all. It's like you're on display, man, at the park. What the hell is they?
Did you read the article?
Yes, I did. Yes.
They're not lit bathrooms.
No, but you could see the way you could see through. You know what I mean?
You can't see through. You do know that, right? You didn't read the article. You didn't read the article, did you?
It's not.
Admit it. You did not read the article.
Not all the way.
Okay,
I read the first couple paragraphs.
He sent me this, right?
These are crazy.
It does look crazy, but it's not. These are see-through bathrooms that they're putting in Taiwan, in different places, right? I think it's Taiwan where they're doing it, if I'm correct.
I thought it said Tokyo.
Tokyo, I'm sorry. Tokyo, I have another story.
Did you read the article?
No, I have another story of Taiwan where they had an EDM party. We'll talk about that in a minute. So, anyway, so these bathrooms are see-through. Only problem is that what he didn't read is they're see-through because the idea, and I think it's a great idea, you never know what's inside a bathroom. Somebody could be waiting to jump you. It could be dirty. It could be disgusting. So the idea is so you to be able to see the bathroom. The second you walk in, it goes dark. The glass turns dark, and so you cannot see in. The lights turn on. You'll be able to see. They won't be able to see you, actually, because the glass changes. What is the saying that they call it? The new technology, cubic glass outer walls turn opaque after the doors are locked, allowing prospective users to survey the interior before spending a penny. And so at night, they light up the park like a beautiful lantern. And it's actually a really cool idea because bathrooms sometimes are disgusting, and the only time you find out is when you walk in, right? You walk in, you're like, oh, wow, I'm out of here. And your wife, your girlfriend, hey, can I? No, you don't want to go in there. You know, that kind of stuff. So this is to show you that it's clean, show you there isn't a sicko waiting for you inside to jump you, okay? And then when you go in, you will have the privacy because it does go dark. So actually, Bill.
Okay, so you're not on display. Okay.
So you're not.
You know what?
It's actually really smart. It's very.
Think of every park, beach, bathroom you ever been in, man.
Right, they're disgusting.
Absolutely.
So this is great because now you see if it's gross and disgusting, you can just keep walking.
You'd rather go behind a tree somewhere.
Right.
Okay?
Well, we can do that. The ladies can't. You know what I mean? They got to lean on the tree. Anyway, so I'm just saying. I thought it was pretty cool. You know what I mean? But when Bill sent it to me, I go, he didn't really read the whole article. I could tell he didn't read the whole article because
I got through the first ones and see that it's clean and this and that. I got to like the second. I'm sorry, I had to cut up sound.
Yeah, right.
I had to cut up sound this morning.
When he sent it to me and he was like, "What the hell is this?"
We had
and then I had to read it, but I read the whole article to see what they were, what the whole story is. And then when you're done, you're like, "Wow, this is genius. Actually, this is really smart on their part."
There is no such thing as a clean bathroom at a park.
I know,
beach,
but apparently this, it's kind of interesting because, you at least know what the hell you're getting into before you go in there.
You see the picture you're looking. When I saw the lady, that's what I'm looking. And I went,
right.
What the?
Right.
Like you're on display while you're on the toilet.
Yeah,
Are you kidding?
Yeah. I think that's just for display purposes. Big O, I like your face covering. Are you a Bond fan? Who is your favorite, and what's your favorite Bond movie? All right, we already went through this. My favorite is Sean Connery. My favorite is Live and Let Die as a movie, and it's also the favorite song. A View to a Kill is probably 1B, as in songs. So there you go.
Go to the podcast, segment 3. It's a long 15-minute segment all about Bond.
Right. We talk all Bond there because that one's that
segment's all Bond all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go, Dean G. Now you got it. Let's see what else do we have here on the. I just thought it's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff to.
Well, like you said, the way it's lit up and stuff like that at night. I mean, it adds something to the part.
Right.
It look cool.
Right. Yeah, it does look cool, and it becomes like
the
lantern, like they were saying. Definitely. Amazon. Did you guys see this? Amazon has struck a deal to stream Seattle Sounders games. So you think soccer is growing in this country? That even Amazon Prime now wants to air the Seattle Sounders games? Starting on the 26th, Sounders games will be streamed on Amazon Prime throughout Washington State. Not here. The deal lasts for 3 seasons. The games will be available on local cable. The announcement is the second partnership Amazon has announced with the team. Last year, it partnered with the Yankees and Sinclair Broadcasting Group to purchase Yes Network, a regional cable network that broadcasts New York Yankees game. Amazon was set to broadcast more than 20 games this season on Amazon Prime before the coronavirus shut down sports. Marie Donahue, a former ESPN executive who leads Amazon's global sports programming efforts, describes sports as a way to enhance Amazon Prime memberships. And I am an Amazon Prime member. Thank you. We believe the sports media landscape and most importantly, sports fandom is changing. There's more content available than ever before, but it's harder to find, and you have to have a lot of cord cutters. People falling out of the bundles and other bundles out there that they love or they offer. So we focus on convenience, value, and selection for our Prime members. We know the Sounders and an opportunity came up, she added. It delivers our promise to bring Prime value to our customers in Washington. So how about that? The Yankees and the Sounders that Amazon's going after. All right, for the soccer haters out there that were keep putting soccer down for many years, and I heard plenty of you guys out there, and there's still some of you out there, of course, that you don't like it, you never will. And hey, look, that's fine, not a problem. It's understandable. I'm not going to ever like eating liver. What do you want me to do? It's going to happen. But interesting to see that they're moving in that direction, that the Sounders would be one of those teams. Pretty cool stuff. 786-322-8814. 1105 if you want to get in on the program. That's 786-322-1105. By the way, I feel bad for Artie Burns. That this was coming across the wire yesterday after we got off the air. We were finishing up the Tuesday show, and it came across the wire. The Bears, they signed Artie Burns to a 1-year contract in the offseason so he would compete for one of the spots that was available. And so now Kevin Tolliver and Jalen Johnson, their second-round pick, will have to compete for that spot. And Artie's one of those kids that he just never really turned the corner. And he's super talented, and came in with a lot of hype, but unfortunately never really became the corner that the Steelers thought that they were going to get. And so now he finds himself with the Bears, and he's fighting for a position, and the poor kid now tears his ACL and is out for the year. So, prayers for Artie Burns. I hope he's able to get healthy and get back to the NFL next year at some point and try to earn a starting spot. But, man, I saw that yesterday, and I felt bad for the kid. And this is why sometimes we get overhyped about certain people because they, are part of our favorite college football team or whatever. And just because a guy has a U helmet on, we almost put this thing on like, oh, guaranteed they're going to be a success in the NFL. And, nothing could be further from the truth. This league is so hard, man. And Artie is a great kid. He's been through a lot, and you root for him, man. But he's got to find a way to turn that corner, and hopefully he can get back from that knee injury so he can, do the thing that he loves to do, obviously, which is play football, and hopefully play it at a high level in the NFL. Speaking of injuries, the Cowboys pulled a classless move and released Gerald McCoy the same day he tore his quad. Matthew, that's not a classless move, bro. That's I don't know if you know this, but the Cowboys already knew he had a quad issue going into it. I don't know if you've read that story. Let me see if I can find that story just so you'll know. And this is kind of normal that teams release you because they have got they've got cap issues. Let me see here if I have it here. Nick Eatman of the website reports Cowboys had an injury waiver on McCoy's right quadricep and chose to release him, but have hopes of re-signing him next year when he's healthy. He signed a 3-year, $18.3 million deal. You can't expect him to want to pay that, my brother, when he's injured. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't guaranteed. The move takes the team off the hook for McCoy's $3.25 million base salary and roster bonus this season. He will keep his $3 million signing bonus, so he gets that, okay? The right quadricep was specified in the contract language, as Mike Garafolo reported. McCoy, 32, tore his quadricep tendon in his first padded practice on Monday. He underwent surgery Tuesday, and according to Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News, McCoy will miss the 2020 season, okay? So they already had targeted the quad as an issue, and so they were kind of covered, and that was the whole thing. So it's really not a classless move on their part. They're being responsible. They knew about the quad. They took the chance. The player blew out the quad. They still gave him a $3 million signing bonus. So he walks away with $3 million for doing nothing, basically. And the Cowboys, you can't expect them to hang on to that contract and hurt their cap overall because then they can't go sign somebody else. So it really is not a classless move. It's a very business-like move, and one that the Cowboys expected because they targeted that quad. They knew he had an issue with that quad. They were just hoping he could actually get through it. That's what it was. So give the Cowboys a little bit of a break. This is a move the Dolphins would have done, the Patriots, the 49ers, anybody and everybody that had that did a responsible thing that, we'll sign the veteran, he can help us, but he's got a little bit of an issue. We got to protect ourselves. Well, we're not going to give him a big signing bonus up front. And the player knew that. And there you go.
When I first saw it, I felt the exact same way, and then heard, and it was like they're being
It's
responsible.
business. It's business.
And you know what? I'm willing to bet that maybe if he could, he has an insurance policy of some sort.
No, probably not.
No,
probably not.
for this.
No, because
so he just is okay with this $3 million.
Because if they had identified the quad as an issue,
So you can't.
you're not going to get insured.
Yeah, they're not
You know,
nobody, not even Lloyd's.
Dude, you got your insurance. You got $3 million.
Yeah, right. You got your signing. Right.
Would you like $3 million for doing nothing?
I would be okay with that.
Are
Is
you
that
all right?
possible? Can I sign up?
All you got to do is show up to Bears camp the first day and blow out an ankle.
Dude, I gotta
Are
go.
you good
I
with
gotta
that?
get up to Illinois. So I'll see you later.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Any of us would do that. So Matthew, give him a break. It's just a business move. Everybody's protecting. Nobody loses here. Actually, McCoy loses out on the season, but dude, he gained $3 million. So not bad. It's not bad for him, actually. You know, in the end, hey, you don't play the season, but you got $3 million. Okay, you know, he's played 9 years in the league. This was his 10th year, so it's not like this is a guy that had never played football, didn't get the opportunity to prove himself.
Take your money, go take a ride by the bank, then go do your therapy.
Right, and you know what? They may be bringing you back next year if you're healthy. Cowboys will bring you back, so it's not a bad thing. Give him a little bit of give him a little break. All right, give him a little love on that one.
Everybody likes to smack Jerry every chance they get.
And you know what? Matthew Walker is probably right, slamming on Jerry, and you are too, and any of us. But in this case, Stephen Jones did the right thing and protected the team the way he's supposed to, do. I see where Lamar Jackson was commenting on Dez Bryant. And Dez Bryant is set to work out for the Ravens, right? And Lamar Jackson was asked about Dez Bryant, and he said, we got a lot of great receivers on the team right now. It's up to the front office. I've been seeing Dez Bryant on Instagram and stuff like that, running routes, competing against cornerbacks. He's looking pretty good on social media. If the front office likes him, we'll have to see when he gets here. Now, you notice how that's kind of an open-out thing with Dez. But then with Antonio Bryant, it was like, oh, yeah, no, we need him. He goes all out and all of that. And why? Because obviously Antonio Brown is related to Hollywood Brown. Okay? And so Lamar plays with Hollywood. So there's a little bit of a bias there. He didn't necessarily have the same kind of enthusiasm about signing Dez Bryant as he did with Antonio Brown. Okay? And I'm thinking about all of this, right? And wait a minute. You're talking about a quarterback that isn't accurate in Lamar Jackson. You're going to put a wide receiver out there that doesn't run the right routes all the time. He's not a good route runner. He's not a well-timed receiver. Okay? I love Dez Bryant coming out of college because when he was just what he was when he was coming out of college, and he's this freak athlete that physically and athletically can do stuff in the air, he was awesome the first few years. But as he got older and lost his speed and lost any kind of separation that he could make, now he can't make any separation. Now he has to depend all on athleticism. And I give Dez credit. He does have athleticism going up in the air. He has body control, all of that. He's an impressive talent in a sense. But at this point in his career, he's no longer that impressive talent. And you need to be more precise as you get older as a route runner. He's not that either. Okay? This is the guy that after he got cut from the Cowboys, he then said, well, I need to start working on my route running. My brother, you're already 7 years into your career. Now's when you're going to work on your route running? You had to work on that since you were coming out of college. And it also shows you that Tony Romo had a real knack for adjusting to him because he wasn't a precise runner, a route runner. So then Tony had to be pretty special to get him the ball at times. Carson Palmer had to do that a lot also with Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson wasn't the best route runner either, wasn't the most disciplined wide receiver. He would break off his routes. He would do all kinds of different things and ad lib. And Carson Palmer had to adjust to that. and did a very good job of adjusting to that stuff. I don't believe Lamar Jackson's that guy at all. He's nowhere near what Palmer or Romo is as a passer. Okay? So I don't know where Dez Bryant fits in the mix here at all. Unless you're going to use him strictly as a red zone guy and possession guy underneath or something and just have him run underneath routes, which they do a lot of that with Lamar. They only run a certain couple routes with him that he's really comfortable throwing. But you can't really get too elaborate with this kid because he's not an accurate passer. You've got to get him in a rhythm, and that's where he's at his best. But if you think that kid can ad-lib and go back there and beat you with his arm, you're dead in the water. I have not seen that yet from Lamar. I'm just saying, I saw that Dez Bryant story, and I was laughing at how Lamar wasn't nearly as convincing and as enthused about Dez like he was Antonio Brown, which Antonio's a better receiver, better route runner, better everything than Dez Bryant. It's not even close. The only problem is that Antonio Brown is a freaking knucklehead. So who the hell wants that clown on your team? You know what I'm saying? But I saw that, and it was interesting, the contrast of how he responded to one guy compared to the other. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. I saw this also where Dalvin Cook and the Vikings have now broken off contract talks. And look, I'm a Dalvin Cook fan. He's a great young man, one hell of a talent. There's only one problem with Dalvin Cook, and he can't stay healthy. He's not a workhorse back, and not a lot of guys are nowadays. But he's the kind of guy, unfortunately, that's had way too many issues with injuries. And so now we've got this COVID-type season that we don't know how long it's actually going to last. So Cook now is poised to play this year on a $1.3 million salary, and then he'll hit free agency in 2021. I know some of you have told me the silliness of, hey, should the Dolphins trade for him and all that? And I've told you many, 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 many times, you don't trade for a guy like this. Great young man, but he can't stay healthy. His body is fragile at this level. And next year, he'll become available as a free agent. He'll be looking for big money. And I see Melvin Gordon Part 2 all over again. This guy's way better than Melvin Gordon, okay? Because Melvin Gordon, I think, only had 1 year that he averaged 4 yards a carry. I think out of his 5 first years in the league, I think he only had one 1,000-yard season, which, getting 1,000 yards is not that impressive in this league. Dalvin Cook is a stud player, okay? That's the difference between him and Melvin Gordon. This is a top 5 back in our league, all right? Only problem is he's never healthy enough to be a top 5 back. So you can't pay him, you can't trade for him, and you can't count on him. And the Vikings are already heading into cap issues with everybody else that they've had to pay. And because this is the most interchangeable position in all of pro sports, not just the NFL, they will draft another. And that's what they'll do, and they'll replace him. And they'll have the Lattimore kid, I think, is the backup. Let me look it up because they drafted him last year, not this past draft. The last draft they selected the kid, and let me see here. I'll tell you his name. I think it's Lattimore, I want to say, or something like that, something along those lines. Got to remember all the little things. Madison, I said Lattimore. Madison is the kid's name. Alexander Madison. They drafted him in the 3rd round. So what they'll do is they'll draft another kid next year in the draft, and they'll have him with Madison running the ball, and they'll let Dalvin Cook go. They were never going to pay Dalvin Cook. It just, after everything that's gone on with Gurley, with Devonta Freeman, I mean, do you need to be reminded that you're not supposed to give these guys a big-ass signing bonus because they're running backs? And I tell you this, if Dalvin Cook had an injury-free career up until this point, he would have already gotten his contract. But because of all these injuries, there's no way that the Vikings are going to commit long-term. And so he will play for $1.3 million, and we'll see what happens this year. Here's what I pray for Dalvin Cook, because he's such a good kid. I hope he doesn't get injured. At least I hope he gets to go into free agency healthy. I hope he has a good year, however long this year lasts. I hope he kicks ass, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of teams lined up to give him a big, giant signing bonus and a nice, heavy salary because of that injury history. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. And email orlando@BigORadioShow.com. Two-time Super Bowl winning coach Tom Flores and Drew Pearson are now finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021. Flores, by the way, is the first Hispanic coach in the NFL nominated in the new coaches category, and Pearson in the senior nominee. Flores, by the way, is 83, had a 105-90 career with the Raiders and the Seattle Seahawks. He took the Raiders to Super Bowl victories in 81 and 84. He won 91 games and 56 losses, a 61.9% winning percentage with the Raiders, and a record of 8-3 in the playoffs, a 727 winning percentage during his 9 seasons with the Raiders, 3 in Oakland and 6 in Los Angeles. His career win totals only trailed out of Hall of Famer John Madden in franchise history. So we'll see what happens with Flores. Flores is one of those guys that a lot of people feel that he should have been in a long time ago, because they feel any of the white coaches that would have had 2 Super Bowl wins would have been in already. You know what I mean?
If I'm not mistaken, the first wild card team to win the Super Bowl, beating the Eagles.
Yes.
Beating the Eagles.
Yes. You are correct. You're correct. And making Dick Vermeil cry. Right? Didn't that make Dick Vermeil cry and then send him into retirement?
Yeah, you know what? I can remember that Super Bowl. The very first play of the game, Philadelphia at like the 45, their own 45.
What a defense, too.
Man, they go and score a touchdown. First play of the game. Nope, yellow flag. Illegal motion. The guy in motion went toward the line of scrimmage before the play.
Right.
And their offense, it just like they never recovered, man. If you remember, King, I think, was the MVP. He had the 2 or 3 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, love Philly because, of course, they beat the Cowboys.
It's crazy. How about this? You know, we have a deal now that we're dealing with the coronavirus, right? Obviously. I think we all know that by now. Somebody in California tested for the plague. I'm not laughing at the guy that he tested for.
We ain't got enough going on.
Exactly. That's my point. Seriously? And by the way, NorCal, if you're listening, you're watching, a Lake Tahoe, California resident has been diagnosed with the plague. Okay? It's marking the first time in 5 years a human case of the disease has been detected in the state. The infected person is recovering at home under the care of a medical professional, according to the press release from the El Dorado County Health and Human Services Agency. And according to health officials, it's believed that the person, an avid walker, may have been bitten by an infected flea while walking their dog. Can also become infected from the direct contact while handling an animal that has died from the disease. Okay? Last year, a Mongolian couple died from the plague after eating raw marmot meat. And last month, a 15-year-old boy in Western Mongolia died of the disease after eating an infected marmot. Okay? That's just, I saw that story and it was like, are you kidding me, dude? We got enough things going on in this country. We got to deal with the damn plague too?
I don't think they're dealing with enough. Let's give them a little dose of the plague down there.
I mean, come on, dude. Kidding me? That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
That just, when you say plague, like it's goes to like biblical times,
Yeah,
type
no,
stuff.
that's kind of what, yes. No, yeah, that's what no, you're right. That's kind of what you think of. That's exactly what goes through your mind. Yeah, man.
What was the movie with Charlton Heston? The Ten Commandments.
Oh, yes.
With the mother and the daughter, in the cave. Yeah, it's the first that you say plague, I picture that scene.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't blame you. Yeah. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the text line, 786-322-1105. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show, as always. NorCal says, I live in El Dorado County. I don't eat wild animals, though. Puff, puff, pass the squirrel. Gus says, aha, great song from the View to a Kill album. Yes. Yes, they do have a good one.
Stay away from eating marbles, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for texting me that article last night, Big O. Well, I was worried about you and the plague, bro. The plague is, around your town. I worry about you, NorCal. You got enough to deal with the hernia. Okay? Enough already. And make sure you're taking it easy on that recovery there, my brother. Okay? We need you to get 100% and be ready to kick some ass in Cleveland for the draft. Okay? So you got plenty of time to get healthy and get off the IR. So Stacey Dash's husband. Now listen to this. Okay? For those of you that don't know Stacey Dash, whether you think she's normal or she's crazy, okay? She's smoking hot. All right? I just got to say that. Let me just throw that in there. Okay, so Jeffrey Marty is the guy that married her. All right? Stacey's estranged lawyer, hubby Jeffrey Marty, filed new court documents in response to Stacey's divorce petition, and he's asking a judge to annul the marriage, something Stacey herself doesn't appear to oppose. Jeff claims that he only took his vows after Stacey's pastor put some serious religious pressure on him. He says they got hitched on April 6th of 2018, but that's only because 10 days prior, he claims her pastor unexpectedly and suddenly proclaimed that God's will they get married. Anyway, Jeff says that his ability to consent to the marriage was hijacked by the use of hypnotic prayer techniques. Jeff doesn't describe the techniques or how he was programmed to marry Stacey, but he also says there was pressure from other clergies to tie the knot. Reportedly, Stacey's team isn't copping to any hypnotized, but they're all good on getting an annulment. Which is, you want out? You got out, bro. Now, this is her fourth marriage. So, I don't, listen, you and I can get married once and get divorced, and we made a mistake. We picked the wrong person. We weren't ready to get married. Whatever the thing is, okay? Whatever. You and I can make that mistake. Maybe you make it twice. I'm one of those people that once you get to the third marriage, I got to say you're the problem already. Right? I mean, either that or you've got to be the worst person at picking human beings, which I'm sure that exists too. I'm sure there's that one person that has picked one bad husband after another or one bad wife after another. And maybe they have been married 3, 4, and 5 times, and they've had the worst luck in the world. Okay? But I got to think, and I don't know if some of you feel the same way, if you've been married 3 or more times, okay? Look, for those of you right now on the chat board that you can give me an immediate answer. If you've been married 3 or more times, do you feel it's really mostly that person's fault at this point? Because that's how I feel. I feel that if you actually are getting married for the third time or more, then you've got to be the problem. Okay? I'm not saying everybody that's done it is the problem, because there's some of you that you just have terrible luck. And that can happen to any of us. But this woman's on the fourth marriage, bro. I mean, it's almost like you get to a point where you're forcing the issue, that you're dying to prove that you can stay married, so you'll do whatever to marry the next person. And you're not really waiting to actually marry the right person instead of just the next person.
My uncle, my dad's brother, my Uncle Jim, married 6 times.
And?
Okay.
What's
and
the verdict?
He had chosen poorly. He had chosen poorly.
6 times?
Yes. And what I used to joke about, the reason that just living with girlfriends never got married, I had to do keep the national statistics correct, because it's like 2.5, 2.7 marriages. So if I stay at 0 and he's at 6, we're at 3. We're right around the national average.
I got you.
So that was my joke.
Okay.
But, you know how long I lived with some of my girlfriends. I could have been divorced now 3 times, Yeah.
Right.
Just never, I don't have that stigma.
I think there are those people that are just terrible at finding somebody else. But I got to feel that if you've been married 3 or more, it's got to be you. It's got to be you mostly.
My uncle wasn't he was
That's
a
what I'm
good guy.
saying. It's probably rare.
Poorly.
I
now,
just
his
think
last
more
wife,
people than
his last wife, he was with for 20, over 18 years, and unfortunately passed away. But
that doesn't count.
They stayed together.
That doesn't count.
They stayed together for like 18, 20 years. That was his last wife.
That's a successful marriage.
Awesome hat, bro.
Yeah, that's a great hat right there, baby. Little Inter Miami. If they left because of death, they didn't dump you. It's because they died.
No, but what I'm saying, like, he finally found the one.
And she died.
Yeah. No, he died. He passed.
Oh, he died. Okay.
No, but they were together for 18, 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It took him like almost his whole life to find the right one.
Right.
6 is a charm, okay?
James says, I'm 45, never been married, no kids. My girlfriend is 25 and wants marriage and kids. I'm unsure if I want this in my life. Any suggestions? James, I'm not going to tell you, bro. At 45 and she's 25, all I can tell you is when your kid's 18, you're 63. And when she's getting married, 25, you're going to be in your late 60s. I don't know. It's up to you, man. It's up to you. I can't tell you because I don't know what kind of marriage you have, bro. If you have a great marriage, a strong marriage, then yeah, hell yeah, have the kids. If you're not sure, then don't have the kids. Because kids will put an incredible strain on a relationship. Okay? There's not a kid in the world that doesn't put a strain on a relationship. Because there's a huge responsibility. And it changes everything. Okay? The closeness of your relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, all that stuff, that changes because it's different when you have a kid in the way. It's when you get an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? They're sleeping. Let's sneak it in. They're in the shower. Let's sneak it in. They're watching television. They're locked in. They've got the VHS, DVD, whatever it is rolling. Let's sneak it in. That's kind of, it changes your world. You know what I'm saying? So if you're ready for that, then you go for it. If you're not, and you're 45, she's 25, sounds to me like a lot of fun, bro.
You told me the same thing my dad and my buddy Guy, that all of you marriages lasted. If you make a list and they don't check off every box, if there's something that's left out, then you don't do it.
Oh.
And that's why, like I said, I haven't been divorced 3 times at this point because I never got married to those girls.
Right. Yeah. That's what
Thank you, my brother.
Let's see. Wife works with her with a lady. Her ex is 13 marriages. Wow. There's a friend of mine that said
That's the most I've ever heard in my life. 13? Have you ever heard a number that high?
Yeah.
I thought my uncle was 6.
There's a friend of mine listening. He says, "You're making this afternoon even better. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you." He goes, "Wife works with a lady. Her ex is in her 13 marriages." He says, "No shit, 13 times." He put.
That strictly sounds like a joke or some movie thing, right? They're like, that can't be real.
Hey, man. Some people love to be with somebody. They don't want to be alone. So they try to they go from one relationship to another. A lot of us have met that kind of person.
You know what that person could say? They're not a quitter.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely not, dude. They're definitely not quitting. But, I mean, Stacey Dash is a good-looking woman, bro. And she can't keep a guy? That's crazy. 20-year age gap is enough to deal with. Kids will surely complicate that dynamic. That's what Mr. Ballgame says. I'm single and my students are my kids. They are enough trouble as it is. LOL. He goes, "We've been together for almost 2 years. COVID has put a pause on life's plans for now. COVID's put a pause on everything." Manny Machine says, "How many marriages for Jennifer Lopez?" Oh, she's had a few too. She's had like 4 herself. I mean, Jennifer Lopez, Halle Berry, Stacey Dash, all these women that are, good looking and all that. And they've had, I can understand like Kim Kardashian having a whole bunch of husbands because, come on, bro. I mean, that's not something you marry on a serious level. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's a reality show you're marrying. So you can't expect much there,
You better if you're going to do it, you better get in soon because as she gets older, it's going to go all over the place.
Oh, that's just wrong. Anyway, kids are forever, Brother James. That's what NorCal says. Yes, you are correct. Again, you got to have a strong relationship to have kids. Super strong. If you don't have a strong relationship and you're a lot of boyfriend-girlfriend still, even when you're married, you're not ready for it. If you're really put it this way, if you really want to enjoy life, then you're not ready for kids. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, you're not ready for kids. Because for kids, it's school, it's their softball, ballet, whatever it is. Your world ends up revolving around them. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way it is. And until they become young adults, that then they start to get out of your life a little bit, and they allow you to have a life. So think about it. You have like a 20-year window of commitment until you kind of fully get your life back. So for every kid, count on not having a life for about 18 to 20 years. And then after they move on to that next stage, then, because they work, then they get their own places, they move out, all those other things that happen in their 20s that you hope at least. If your son is, 32 and still living with you, and, that's a tough one. That's a rough one. Gus 1388 giving some love on the Super Chat. Bill, can we sign with I think he says sign with the Bears. I hear they're looking for a tight end. Okay, so you guys need another tight end?
Yeah, we're only down to 6.
There you go.
We got to keep that eight guy allotment.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. Give us a couple minutes here. We're at VSS West Pines. We'll come back for the final stretch right here on the Big O Show.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com. A travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Show.
We back. Don't forget today, for those of you, if any of you are Grateful Dead fans, Bob Weir and the Wolf Brothers, 8 p.m. tonight, Nugs TV. They do it every Wednesday. So for you deadheads out there, Bob Weir and the Wolf Brothers, 8 p.m. tonight, Nugs TV, NUGS.TV. And Dave Matthews Band, every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. DMBDrivein.com, Dave Matthews Band, DMBDrivein.com also, if you want to catch a little Dave Matthews there, to catch a little streaming action. If you want to get in on the program, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Everybody talks about how schools, not everybody wants them to open, but schools are starting to open. You're bringing a lot of kids. A lot of schools are now starting to close down because of the coronavirus. The spread of the virus, by the way, is being increasingly driven by people in the ages of 20, 30s, and 40s who are actually unaware of the infected because they have no or mild symptoms, okay? Many people from this age range are asymptomatic and have mild symptoms of COVID-19. They unknowingly are passing on the virus to others. The risks of spillovers to the most vulnerable, the elderly, the sick in long-term care, people who live in densely populated urban areas and undeserved rural areas. An analysis of 6 million cases who detailed information reported that between February 24th and July 12th showed an increase in the proportion of children and young people infected. According to the data shared, the proportions of the infected children ages 0 to 4 grew from 0.3% to 2.2%. Ages 5 to 14 grew from 0.8% to 4.6%. Ages 15 to 24 from 4.5% to 15%. Okay? So there are a few explanations for these trends, including a rise in risky behavior among young people after lockdowns and other public health and social measures were lifted, expanding availability of testing, and an increased spread of COVID-19 across communities. Globally, the coronavirus pandemic has infected 21.8 million people, according to the data collected by Johns Hopkins University. More than 13.8 million have recovered, and at least 774,000 people have died now from the virus. So it's everybody talks about getting those kids back to school and all of that. They are the people that can actually transmit this disease to more people out there than anybody else. And that's the problem, because they're the ones that are out on the street more than us. If you notice, us older people, we have chosen to be a little bit more reserved now. Have you noticed that? Most of us. You know, a lot of us that are in our late 40s and 50s and 60s and even older, we're going out less. We're choosing to do things less on the people that are going out are younger. And they're the ones having these parties, and they're the ones that are protesting, and they're the ones that are doing all this crazy stuff all over the country. And they're the ones spreading the virus. And then they're the ones that are taking it back to their homes and taking it back to their family members, their older family members, the ones that have health conditions, the ones that are maybe too overweight, you know, that kind of stuff. All of these things have put everybody else at risk. That's why I've been against opening schools, because we are in the middle of a pandemic. And while a lot of the young people are going to survive from this, they're going to end up killing people in the process. They may not even know some of the people that they kill, because they may not even know the people that they affect or infect. I saw that, and it shows you that we're we're not really fighting the virus the right way. We're actually enabling the virus to spread even more because the people that are now contracting it are younger and healthier, and now they have more energy to go around and spread it to other people. And that's not a good thing. And that's why when people tell you, oh, well, the positivity rate, are you testing less? Huh? Is that what you're doing now? Because the death rate's not going down. So are you fudging the numbers that way? Because you're not going to hide the death. You can't. At all. Look, I'll tell you where we at right now. Tell you right now where we're at in the death numbers today. Where are we at here? We are right now at 620 dead at 3:09. We still have another 6 hours to go. And most states are not reporting all of their death count. Like most of Florida is already in at 169. California and Texas, not yet. They haven't. California right now is at 15 and only 302 cases. So that means they haven't even come close to reporting yet. Texas has nothing. No cases, no deaths yet, as they haven't even entered those numbers yet. Oh, by the way, Arizona's already at 105 for the day. So we've already got a high number pretty much at 3 o'clock. We keep crossing 1,000. When I start seeing those numbers go way down, then maybe we're making progress now. But again, it's going to be waves, right? We brought it down, and then we brought it back up again. My buddy sent me an article about a party of an EDM party that they had in Wuhan, right? And I get it that they had that party, but when you read the article, right, the one thing that stood out to me about that article was that Wuhan had a strict 76-day lockdown. Okay? Now, do you know what strict 76-day lockdown means? That means you weren't allowed to go out of your house. Now, I get it. That's a whole different kind of country. Their political system is different, right? But we're the idiots in this country, right? We can't stay home because, no, that's taking away our rights. We can't put on a mask. No, because now that's un-American. You're making me wear a mask. No, dude, we're not making you. We're asking you, wear a mask so we can save lives. So it's almost like we should have been treated like we were in a communist state. There should have been police and National Guard in streets all over, and they should have been wrecking havoc all over if they found anybody out on the street. Okay? They should have put the fear in God in all of us to stay home. And so in Wuhan, where the virus started, they had a EDM concert at a water park, and it was packed. But then again, they went through 76 days of strict close down. So if nobody leaves their house for 76 days, trust me, the virus is come and gone. Because whoever had it will come out of their homes and have to go to the hospital, and it's over. They get their medicine, they come through, or unfortunately they succumb to it, and then you move on. We didn't do that. We never closed down on a hard scale close down because I've been working throughout the entire pandemic. Now, I'm responsible. I'm not one of those idiots that, I'm not wearing a mask. It's un-American. That kind of stupidity. I'm not doing that. But we did not do a full-blown lockdown for 76 days. We kind of did a shutdown for almost 2 months, and we brought the numbers down, but then we opened up again, and we opened up in an irresponsible fashion. And they didn't. They locked down for 76 days, and then they slowly, gradually opened things up. Now I get it. They're communist, socialist, whatever the hell they are over there, and they can kind of control people more. But as Americans, man, we just seem like a bunch of spoiled brats. And then we end up looking like a bunch of freaking morons to the rest of the world because we're doing this crap. You know what I mean? It's a shame. It really is. But I saw it, and it's like, well, they did extremes that we weren't willing to go to. Because if we did the extremes, then we get out of it. But since we're lazy, now we've allowed this thing to fester, and it's going to be with us for a long time. And we've allowed this now to last as we head into winter, which is, that's suicide, man. Suicide that we've allowed this thing to fester going into winter. That's so irresponsible. Anyway, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the text line. Taiwan, by the way, was the first to have a 10,000-person arena concert since the pandemic began. Danny Lee bought a ticket to attend the first concert of Eric Chow, 2020. Have you been to the tour in Taipei, August 8th? She knew she'd have to wear a mask upon entry. What she didn't know was she'd win a lottery that got her a second one, a pink medical mask signed by the Mandopop singer-songwriter. So they had 10,000 people at this concert. 10,000 plus concert goers at Taipei Arena, experience what few have felt in nearly half a year. The energy of a packed house singing along with beloved artists. The concert of this size, larger than any other reported on since social distancing measures began, was taking place in Taiwan and is a testament to the self-governing island strong response to the coronavirus. Heading into the show, Taiwan had a population of more than 23 million and had recorded 479 cases of COVID and 7 deaths. Through prevention measures ranging from border control to mandatory 14-day home quarantine for travelers, Taiwan has largely kept the virus at bay. In early June, after no new locally transmitted cases were recorded for 8 weeks, restrictions were lifted on an audience number for larger gatherings. 8 weeks with nothing. So, there you go. And we can't get that done here, Bill. Why? Because people won't put on a mask like you do. You know? And you look sharp with a Nirvana mask.
Left to our own devices.
That's right. That's our problem right there. That's our problem right there. We can't be responsible enough. You know what I mean? So, death rate, Tommy Tremonti, that death rate percentage is the worst thing that you can say. So, in other words, to you, the 170,000 people that have died doesn't matter because it's a small percentage of our population. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So it just, here, he put here in Connecticut, 10,760 tests, plus 40 cases, and 5 hospitalized. That's good. You guys can do some stuff there in Connecticut. But I hope you're not putting any kind of percentage on our overall deaths. That would not be cool. NorCal says, next month I should be strong enough to puke. I need a 6-pack soup going on my lunch shelf. Taiwan is too far away and COVID doesn't feel like traveling there. Yeah. They put the kibosh on COVID there in Taiwan. That's amazing, man. All right. I don't know. What else do we have? You guys got any questions before we wrap it up here on the show? Send them in here on the text line, 786-322-1105. You can put it on the chat board, on the super chat, if you got any questions before we wrap it up here on the program, because we is done. We've done over 3 hours, actually, today. We're at like 3 hours and 18 minutes or whatever it is. Normally, it's just Normally we do 3 hours, right around there. But if you have any questions, then maybe I haven't gotten to something that you wanted to talk about. I think I've covered pretty much everything going on in sports. Oh, what was your favorite year that UM won a national championship? Hmm. 83, bro. 83. Still has to be my favorite because it was the first one. It's when we broke through. The other ones are super sweet, don't get me wrong, but it has to be 83. I loved 87. I loved 89. I loved 91. 2001 was phenomenal. Obviously, I just, you know, the Fiesta Bowl year still eats at me because to me that was my favorite UM team, and that team should have won because they were better than Penn State. But if I have to give a favorite, I have to go with the first one. You know, it's kind of like I love the LeBron years and the 2 championships they won in the 4 years. Still not it's still not better than 06. That first year was the best. Now, you know what? On the Marlins side, I would go with 03 over 97. Only because 97 wasn't a shock that we won the World Series. They loaded up that team and they were supposed to get there. 03, nobody saw that coming. And they beat the Yankees on top of all of that. Yeah, but I mean, it's still amazing.
I got to celebrate it the first day, opening day of 2004. That's when I got to celebrate.
I don't get that.
Well, because of being a Yankee, I went with Yankee years of tenured service. I was a Yankee fan longer than a Marlin fan. So
remember, he
wasn't all that happy. But in 2004 was their opening day and did get to celebrate the Marlins championship. We actually, I want to say the starting pitcher going against us was Livan Hernandez.
You're not allowed to celebrate a championship you were rooting against.
The next year, yeah, you are.
No, you're not.
And actually, the best Canes championship
it's nice
was
to have
91.
8 teams, you know what I mean? It's like
and I won $500 on that game, 91. Do you remember that?
He had a Nationals jersey on a couple months back.
No, never.
Anyway, so
Yankees, Marlins, that's it, bro.
I got to go 83, bro. 83 has got to be my year because it was the first one. And that was like we became like a real college powerhouse from there on out. So that was the exciting part of it.
87, Steve Walsh making up for 86.
Yeah.
That was
boxers or briefs. I'm going boxers. What's your?
Is that even a question anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. James Bond, I already said it. Sean Connery. Will Balaj be on the team game 1? No, he will not. Let's see. What else do we have? Any others? Rooting a championship you're against defeats the purpose. I'm with you. That's anyway. Which of our pro teams will win a championship first? That's a good one. I got the Dolphins winning in 2023. Okay, so we're still 3 years removed from when the Dolphins win the championship. It's not this year. It's not next year. It'll be the year after that they'll win. In Tua's second full year of starting, he'll be a Super Bowl winner. Can Inter win a championship before then? Panthers aren't going to win it. Marlins aren't going to win it before then. The Heat are pretty close. They just need that other star to either acquire or that Bam takes that next step. Or Tyler, too, because Tyler's got a little something to him, man. Yeah, there's some there that kid might end up becoming better than even an all-star. He's got all-star potential, there's no doubt. But can he be better than that? I'm going to go Inter Miami. Okay? I'm going to go Inter Miami as the closest team to get to a championship because they're going to acquire another forward. And the guy that they've got constructing was the guy who constructed Atlanta. And I think you can turn it around a lot faster in the MLS than you can in some of these other sports. Basketball and MLS, I think, are pretty quick to turn things around. And I love the direction that the Dolphins are going in. But I'll say Inter Miami. Okay? All right? I got the Miami Hooters winning next year. Those are pretty good. Jim Jensen owning the Miami Hooters, right? That's how it was back in the day. Remember that? I like it. The first Heat championship, I was so happy for Zoe. Tell me about it. Dude, I was there in the locker room full of champagne, not only watching Zoe, but watching UD also. Because it was great that Wade won and all that stuff, but UD and Zoe were the guys that, obviously Zoe going through the kidney ailment, everything that he went through, and UD, Mr. 305, it meant so much to those two guys. That was the coolest part about being in that locker room that night in Dallas, was watching what it meant for Zoe and what it meant for UD. It was enormous. Hell, I even remember White Chocolate saying that he would remember Jason Williams was that guy that was considered a cancer and all that stuff. So Jason Williams in the middle of the locker room, right, yells, and they said I was a cancer and that I couldn't be part of a winning team, you know, and guys were like, you know, like screaming and yelling and supporting Jay. So there were a couple moments of like, you know, we proved you wrong. I got over the hump. I reached the pinnacle. All that kind of stuff that was going on, right? And that round thing was in the middle of the locker room where Riley had thrown the 15 strong cards in, you know, all that stuff. It was just, there was a lot of things involved in that first championship. It was awesome, man. And remember, that year started with them, what's it called? Firing Stan Van Gundy or whatever, him leaving him, going to be with his family and all that good stuff. And then Riley took over, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm with you. That 06 championship was as sweet as it gets, man. So sweet.
That first Heat championship, for me, it's us. Because we had been there from day one. We had Louis Chaffel. Billy Cunningham came over from the 76ers. We thought that we were going to be in a championship game in 5 to 7 years, remember?
Yeah.
Like, and to wait as long as we did, we would have never said, it's going to take us forever.
Oh, yeah.
And to get that first one finally, man, being there from day one, that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. And yes, Dean G, I've seen ZZ Top many, many times. And Dolphin Maniac didn't know Crash owns a Hooters. Well, then he did. Not anymore. But I'm pretty sure Crash Jensen was either the general manager or the owner of the Hooters football team that we had here, the arena team. I want to say he held some kind of high position on that Hooters team. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. Somebody help me out with that. Somebody must know something about that. Let's see, what else do we have here? I've been going to concerts since the late 70s. Big O, you are making a great point. You have had the best ideas to this thing. I don't know what thing. Are you talking about Corona? I don't know what you're talking about. I hope you're talking about Corona. I'm not sure. Maybe we're talking about the Dolphins. I've had a couple of ideas with the Dolphins. You never know. I always have ideas that will get people in trouble. That's kind of my thing. We love doing that. All right, let's wrap it up here on the program. I think 3 hours and a half is pretty good today. It's not bad.
No, you had a 45, a 45, and a 55.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. And we did take the what is that game doing? What's going on in that game right now with the Nets and the Raptors? What's the score to that one? Because we took the over, and right now we should know if we're getting close to that over number. 2 minutes left in the third, and it's 77-70. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. All right. We're almost there. All right. Got another quarter to go. The Nets are leading the Raptors, by the way, by 7 points, 77-70. How about that? I'm telling you, the Nets have a culture in place. Whoever puts on that uniform plays his ass off. Very impressed with what the Nets have done with that organization. And they are like light years ahead of what the Knicks have been trying to do forever. It's hilarious. The Knicks want to be like the marquee team. They want to lure all these names, all of that. It's the Nets that bring in Durant. You know what I mean? It's the Nets that are making the playoffs. Even without their top names the last 2 years, they're in the playoffs. Okay? I mean,
they're very similar to the Redskins. It seems like the owner is holding back that whole franchise.
Oh, you're talking about the Knicks?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
They're very similar. Very similar.
Of
The
course,
two of them, their owner, man.
They're both cancers. Yes. I would definitely agree with that 100%. They're cancers. That's the problem with them. It's like a Jeffrey Loria. You can't do anything about that.
God, that guy.
Yeah, that's it. You know? Can't do anything about that. All right, time to wrap it up here. We thank Kenneth Cleveland and Gus 1388 on the Super Chats as always. Thank all of you out there for tuning in, downloading the show, watching it, however it is you watch our show on YouTube, listen on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud every single day. As always, we thank Bill and Philippe taking care of the audio and the video side of the whole deal.
Tomorrow, early Heat game.
That's right. Tomorrow's a Heat game at 1. So we'll be on tomorrow at 10 a.m. instead of 11.
Maybe 9:30.
Maybe 9:30. We'll be out over at Toyota of Hollywood like we are every Thursday. Toyota of Hollywood. Friday at Craig's Inn Acura. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. A little earlier than normal. You all be good out there. Be safe.
Wear your masks. Wash your hands.